Ohio gozaimasu, konnichiwa, konbanwa, wherever you're at in the world. Welcome to Last Rounds Baseball's live commentary of the Nippon Professional Baseball League. The commentary and views are our opinions and are not affiliated with the NPB, Pacific League, Central League, or their sponsors. We're giving English reports on the game being played and hope that English-speaking audiences around the globe can enjoy the games on YouTube and Twitch along with us. Tonight, it is a special night. We are going to be calling the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks and the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles. This game is not going to be played at the home of the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks, but rather it is going to be at the Kitakyushu Citizens Ballpark Stadium, also in the Fukuoka Prefecture. It is a home to an independent league club, and it is one of those games that are what we would call a neutral site game, as it is not to the home teams. Being the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks, it's not necessarily their home, even though it is in their area where they play. So that is the uniqueness about the game, and we'll begin with the starting lineups. First of all, from the visitors from Tohoku. The Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles will lead off. Number 6, Haruki Nishikawa. He's going to play in left field. Batting second and playing shortstop, wearing number 34, is Tsuyoshi Yamazaki. Batting third and playing second base, wearing number 3, is Hideto Asamura. In the cleanup spot and playing in right field, wearing number 35, is Hiroki Shimochi. Batting fifth at playing first base, wearing number 7, is Daichi Suzuki. Batting sixth at third base, wearing number 48, is Yoshiaki Watanabe. Batting seventh and doing the designated hitting, wearing number 12, is Jose Marmolejos. Batting eighth in center field, wearing number 8, is Ryosuke Tatsumi. And batting ninth and doing the catching, wearing number 36, is Jinjiro Sumitani. And they are going to be facing Colin Ray, the right-hander. The American gets the nod today. He is 1-0 on the season. He's worked 6 2/3 innings in his NPB first start of the season. He allowed 5 hits, 3 runs, 1 walk, and struck out 4 to an ERA of 4.05. And now the starting lineup for the home team, the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. Leading off and playing in left field, wearing number 6, is Haruki Nishikawa. Batting second and playing shortstop, wearing number 34, is Tsuyoshi Yamazaki. We're going to check that as we have switched it up. I have to give you the Fukuoka lineup, as that is the Tohoku lineup. Leading off and doing the designated hitting, wearing number 68, is Masaki Momori. Batting second and playing third base, wearing number 99, is Isami Nomura. He is in his rookie season in the NPB. Batting third and playing first base, wearing number 7, is Akira Nakamura. Batting fourth in left field, wearing number 27, is Yurizabel Graciel. Batting fifth and playing second base, wearing number 36, is Taisi Makihara. Then batting sixth and playing in center field, wearing number 51, is Seiji Ubiashi. Batting seventh in right field, wearing number 32, is Tetsuro Yanagamachi. Batting seventh and playing shortstop, wearing number 6, is Kenta Imamiya. And batting ninth and doing the catching, wearing number 19, is Takuya Kai. And they are going to face Hideki Wakui, who's making his third start of the season. He's 1-1 on the year. He's got 11 innings pitched. He's allowed 9 hits, 4 runs, all of which have been earned. He's walked 3 and struck out 9. And he has posted an ERA of 3.27. Those are your starting lineups, and this one is about ready to get underway. Colin Ray is completing his warm-up tosses. As we mentioned earlier, this stadium is an independent league stadium, or it is used by an independent league team, and it is not one of the stadiums that is typically used by the NPB for regular home games. The uniqueness about this particular park is much like the Koshin Stadium in Osaka. It has an all-dirt infield, so that'll be something to keep an eye on here. Usually the Hanshin Tigers traditionally have always struggled to be one of the better fielding teams in the league, and that's not because of their ability or their tools, but because they play on that all dirt infield, it can wreak havoc with the defense as they have it. And that is where it is sometimes in the Hanshin world where they have much difficulty playing defense compared to some of the other teams who play on a different type of surface. So this is going to be the leadoff hitter coming up to bat for the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles. It's going to be Haruki Nishikawa. He's going to get things going here as he leads it off in the top of the first inning. And the first pitch from Colin Ray is a fastball that misses upstairs. And the count is quickly 1-0. On the season, Nishikawa is hitting .316. He's got a homer and 8 runs batted in. This is his first season with the Golden Eagles, as he has played with the Hokkaido Nippon-ham Fighters for all of his career. There's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count is now 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes here in the top of the first inning. Nishikawa, Yamazaki, and Asamura to lead it off here against Colin Ray, and here is a fastball delivered that misses off the inside corner, and the count now goes to 3-0. So 3 balls and no strikes. What's also different about the infield is the pitcher's mound is covered. It's almost a red surface where it looks like it has been covered in turfus, whereas all the rest of the infield is in a dark blackish brown color. There's a fastball that misses outside, and the count now goes to ball 4 to Nishikawa, and he's going to get himself a leadoff walk to start the ball game. And that is going to bring up the shortstop, Tsuyoshi Yamazaki. For Yamazaki on the season, he's batting .167. He's got no homers and no RBIs to this point. So he is stepping up to the plate. Last year, it was Kobukata who was their shortstop in the early going. Yamazaki is getting a chance to play regular. He's 6 for 36 on the season, and he swings at a first pitch fastball, and he lifts it into shallow center field. Moving over underneath it is the center fielder, Seiji Ubiyashi. He makes the grab, and that is going to retire Yamazaki for the first out. I have a feeling when he gets back to the dugout, the coaches may be wanting to have a word with him, as Colin Ray had delivered 4 consecutive balls. And why he wasn't taking on that pitch to at least get the pitcher thinking, or at least keep him out of the groove, he basically gave himself an out, and that pitch was up in the zone, which where Ray has been missing so far today. So there's 1 away, and that's going to bring up the second baseman, Hideto Asamura. For Asamura on the season, he's batting .227. He's got no homers and 5 RBIs. He bats from the right side against the right-hander Ray. And Ray fires over to first base, and diving back in time easily is Nishikawa. Asamura, I'm concerned about, and so should the Eagles. He's been on a bit of a steady decline in the last couple of years. He drove in 100 runs 2 years ago, but his numbers fell off drastically last year, and he's off to a slow start this year. There's a fastball taken at the knees for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Sometimes when you see players and their numbers start to decline, it is a bit of a warning signal that their decline in their game may be on, and this might what we be seeing here with Asamura. So here comes the 0-1 pitch. Ray holds at the belt, and he fires over to first, and diving back in time is Nishikawa. And he is asking for time, as it looks like he may have hurt himself. He's slow to get to his feet. He's on his knees, and we're waiting here as the first baseman is kind of leaning in and looking at him to see if he is okay. It's Nakamura. We're going to see it again as he applies the tag. It looks like maybe possibly may have jammed his hand into the base. And we're going to see here the trainer is out. The first base coach is there with him. But it looks like Nishikawa is going to stay in the game. He's taken his batting glove off. He may have jammed his fingers, or possibly even the first baseman may have slammed the tag down on it and caused some discomfort. I think of the old San Francisco Giant great Willie McCovey. When Willie McCovey would get the ball over at first base, he would slam the ball in the glove down on the base runner diving back into the bag. It would often hurt their fingers. So here we are back to the live action. There's a fastball from Colin Ray delivered to Asamura that misses off the outside corner, and the count goes to 1-1. But back to Willie McCovey, he would slam the glove down with the ball in the glove, and they said it was like an absolute sledgehammer. And his philosophy is that if he kept it banging on the guy's fingers, it made it really difficult to hold the bat. Nothing like holding a bat with sore fingers. So instead of the 1-1 pitch, Ray throws over to first, and the ball gets by the first baseman Nakamura, gets down into the bullpen area. Over to second goes Nishikawa. He's rounding second, heading to third, and he is going to get into third standing up. That's going to go as an error to the pitcher. And Nishikawa has come all the way around to third base on the poor throw over to first by the pitcher Colin Ray. Not only was it thrown, it was thrown up the baseline. And Nishikawa, who dove back headfirst into the bag, got up and took off, and he was able to get all the way around to third on the error by the pitcher. So now he is at third base with one away, and the count now is 1-1 to Asamura. Ray gets the signal from his catcher Kai. He's ready to go back to work. He kicks and fires. It is a fastball that misses inside. They appeal down to the first base umpire, but they say Asamura didn't go, and the count goes to 2-1. So $2 and 1 strike to Hideto Asamura. They're going to get an opportunity here to potentially punch one in, but the infield is in. The Hawks are playing everybody in on what would be the shallow part of the infield, as there is no grass here at the Citizens Baseball Stadium. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away. The count now goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Asamura, he's batting in the 3 spot today. Ray again gets his sign from the catcher Kai. He's ready to go back to work. He kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is driven into right field. And this ball is going to get down, and that is going to be a base hit. And we'll just have to hang on for a half a second here. That ball was a base hit, and that's going to drive in the first run of the ball game. Asamura gets himself a single and an RBI after Nishikawa came all the way around to third on the error by the pitcher Ray. And now that is going to bring up the right fielder Hiroki Shimouchi. The only person that Ray has to be mad at is Ray himself, as he is the one who gifted the Golden Eagles a run. If that would have been here, it probably would have been a first and third situation. There's a first pitch fastball delivered that's taken to it for a call strike, and the count is 0-1. For Shimouchi, he's hitting .279 on the season. He's got no homers and 9 runs batted in. He stands in on the left side, waiting for the delivery from the right-hander, and it's a breaking ball that misses outside, and the count goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Shimouchi had a very hot playoffs last year for the Golden Eagles. There's a veteran bat in their lineup. There's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count is 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike to Shimouchi. He'll be followed by the first baseman Daichi Suzuki, should he reach safely. So here comes the 2-1 pitch. He kicks and he fires. It's a fastball swung on, and it's fouled off, and it's going to catch the umpire. The home plate umpire took that one. The umpire's working in the slot. The pitch came back. It looked like it went off the mask of Kai, and then it caught the mask of the home plate umpire, so it was a double deflection. It's going to run the count to 2-2. Sometimes if you get it straight back, you're able to prepare for it, but getting a double shot like that, you're not really ready for it on the deflection. So here comes the pitch. It's a fastball delivered and swung on and missed. And Shimouchi is retired for out number 2 here in the first inning. That's going to leave it all up to Daichi Suzuki. Suzuki on the season steps to the plate. Batting .209. He's got no homers and 5 RBIs. He's getting the nod at first base today. Another of many left-handed hitters in the Golden Eagle lineup. He steps in ready to face the right-handed slants of Ray, and there's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count is 1-0. There's a heavy-duty eye patch underneath the eye of Suzuki. Prior to the game, he took a ball in the face, and he's got this big, huge eye patch right over top of his cheekbone, and it goes down right down the side of his face. He's also got the guard on the right side as he's a left-handed hitter, and as he fouls that pitch away, the count goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Here in the top of the first inning is a 1-0 scoreline for the Golden Eagles as they got a run that was gifted to them by Colin Ray after he had thrown a pitch over to first base wildly. An attempted pickoff, and there's a fastball swung on it. Is lifted over on the third base side, but it is going to bound just in front of the fence as the third baseman Namura did not have the opportunity to get there, and the count now goes to 1-2 on Suzuki. For this stadium, it's the first time I've witnessed play here, and so the sight lines are a little different. Getting the foul ball in the foul ball territory is a little bit different than most. So here comes the pitch. It is a fastball that misses down, and the count is now 2-1. We got Alexander Leggett in the house. A little earlier start for us tonight, Alexander. Welcome. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Daichi Suzuki. I'm going to see what kind of crowd we have in here tonight. As we said at the top of the stream, this is a game that's not being played at the PayPay Dome. It is at the Kide Kyushi Citizens Ballpark Stadium. Also in the Fukuoka Prefecture, and there's a fastball swung on and fouled away. The count remains at 2-2. Some other interesting pieces about this stadium. There is no upper deck in the outfield. It's all a single layer. Down the left field and the right field line is the bullpen area. And a lot of the bullpen areas in the NPB stadiums, they're either under the stands or they're out of the field of play. But this one is on the right and left field line. There is a fastball swung on. It is fouled away. It's going to reach the seats behind home plate. And just as there's no upper deck in the outfield, there's no upper deck in the infield area either. It's a single bowl that they're playing in. I'm kind of curious to see what the stadium attendance will be for this game. Alexander Leggett says he's got a new job, but it ends at 11 p.m. I always found it tough to wind down. And when you get home late, sometimes you stay up later and be able to do that. There's a fastball swung on. It's fouled away, but Suzuki has broken his bat. He's going to have to go to the dugout to get a new one. That one came right in on the fists, and you could see a piece of the wood on the replay went flying. So he's got himself a new piece of lumber, and he's ready to come back to work to face Colin Ray. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Suzuki ready to dig in here against the pitcher, Ray, who kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball that's taken for a called third strike. Suzuki won't have an opportunity to break the other bat as he stood there like the house by the side of the road and watched that one go by for out number 3 here in the first inning. So the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles get things going. They had 1 run in the inning. There was only 1 hit. There was an error and 1 runner left on base. We're through half an inning. It is Tohoku 1, the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks coming to bat. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a moment after this from our friend Steve Rademacher. Check out this from Steve. It's one of his brand new little infomercials for us.
Hello, guys. Thank you for joining Freddie here on his baseball game. And I'm Steve Rademacher, and my channel is really all about everybody, including all my international friends. We have such stuff as non-sport packs from Canada, the OP Cheese. We have the Greek Freak. We have money from around the world. We have lira. We have yen. We have francs, we have pounds, we have Deutschmarks, we have all kinds of cool stuff like that. We even have some cooler things like Japanese women wrestlers and OPC baseball cards where I cannot read the back. We even have unopened material like the royal family, I know it's backwards, from London, England. Thank you for watching. Back to Freddie.
Appreciate you, Steve, and your support of our channel. In turn, we like to support Steve Rademacher. Be sure to check out his channel after the game for Money Money Monday, Takeover Tuesday, the Saturday morning cartoons, or the Sunday shoutouts. All of those are always entertaining. Certainly, he has something for everybody. Now we're moving here to the bottom of the first inning. It's going to be the top of the order coming up for Fukuoka. That means it's going to be Misaki Momori, Sami Nomura, and Akira Nakamura to get things going for the Hawks in their half of the first. Our friend Fluby Badoop says Rakuten's not kidding around this season. The Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles had a decent start to last year, and then they kind of faded in the back half of the season. I'm kind of curious to see how things play out for them this year. I would expect them to be a playoff team. I would also expect them to contend for the Pacific League title. And there's a first pitch fastball that misses up and away, and the count is 1-0 to Momori. Momori on the season is off to a hot start. He's hitting .366 with a couple of homers and 9 runs batted in. There's a fastball that misses outside, and the count is now 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. He is the epitome for a table setter for the Hawks. There's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count is now 3-0. One thing that we mentioned in our stream last week, something to keep an eye on, is the lack of home runs in the Pacific League this year. The starting lineup tonight for Fukuoka, the total number of home runs, there is 3. Momori here has 2 of them. The other is to Makihara, comes up a little bit later, and there's a fastball that catches the outside corner. And the count now is 3-1. We've got Henna Markin Locus comes in asking, where can I watch this? Well, if Alexander Leggett is still in the stream, usually he puts it up where you can watch it. But that is something that you're going to have to find. You can find it on the Reddit channel and go and take a look there. There's a fastball swung on. It is popped up behind home plate. The catcher, Simitari, has lots of room. He's going to haul it in, and that is going to retire Momori for out number 1 here in the first inning. So 1 up and 1 away. And that is going to bring up Isami Nomura. For Nomura, he is a rookie this season. He's making his NPB debut earlier. He's hitting .235. He's got no homers and 1 RBI. Gets the nod to bat in the 2-hole. He steps up to the plate, batting from the right side. And here comes the first pitch from the right-hander Wakui, who kicks and fires. It's a breaking ball that misses upstairs, and the count is 1-0. Wakui has not had great command today so far. And in fact, I would even say that he has benefited by the poor pitch selection to swing at by the leadoff hitter that got him out of some trouble. And there's a fastball swung on. It is lifted into right field. Moving over underneath it is Shimouchi. He's going to make the catch, and that is going to retire Nomura for out number 2. So 2 up and 2 away, and that's going to leave it all up to Akira Nakamura. For Nakamura on the season, he's hitting .286. He's got no homers and 4 runs batted in. Nakamura, a veteran stalwart here of the SoftBank Hawks. He digs in from the left side. He chokes up a little bit off the end of the bat. He's got a bit of a unique stance. All his weight is on his back leg, and he's up on the lead toe, and he takes a first pitch fastball for a called strike. And the count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike to Nakamura. Wakui ready to go back to work. He kicks and fires. It is a breaking ball that misses outside. And the count runs to 1-1. It's a beautiful sunshiny day in the Fukuoka prefecture. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. And Wakui kicks and fires. It is a breaking ball swung on. It is lifted into left center field. Moving back on it is the shortstop Yamazaki, and he's going to make the grab. And that is going to do it for the Hawks in their half of the first inning. So for Fukuoka, they had no runs, there were no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We're through one complete at the Citizens Baseball Stadium in Kitakyushu, the Fukuoka Prefecture. The score is the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles 1, the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks nothing. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple minutes. The call of the top of the second inning. We're glad you're here.
Well, you've got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play, but you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just one roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole.
Welcome back, everybody. We are moving to the top of the second inning. It is going to be the 6, 7, and 8 hitters coming to bat for Tohoku. This means it's going to be Yoshiaki Watanabe, Jose Marmolejos, and Ryosuke Tatsumi to get things going against the right-hander Colin Ray. Ray, who works from the stretch with nobody on, delivers a first pitch fastball that misses upstairs. And the count is 1-0 to Watanabe. Watanabe on the season is batting .294. He's got no homers and 2 RBIs. And here comes the pitch. It's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count goes even to 1-1. For Colin Ray, he threw 23 pitches in his first inning of work. The run he gave up was unearned. I've often wondered about that. There's a fastball that misses down and in, and the count now goes to 2-1. What I've wondered about is when a pitcher makes an error and he then eventually allows a run, why is it unearned? You would think that it would be earned because he was the one who made the error. There's a fastball that misses down and the count is 3-1. And that was definitely Ray's contribution to allowing that run to score in the first inning. So Ray gets the side from his catcher, Kai. He's ready to go back to work here. Here comes the 3-1 pitch. It's a fastball swung on. It's grounded foul. It's going to get down into the bullpen area, down the left field line, and that's going to run the count to 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. I'm curious to know what the attendance at this stadium will be as they make their announcement. As we said, it's not as big as the PayPay Dome, that's for sure. But one would expect it to be probably between 20 and 25,000 fans. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is driven into deep right center field. Moving back underneath it is the center fielder, Seiji Ubiyashi. He backpedals a little bit and he makes the catch. That is going to be a fly ball out for number 1 here in the second inning. And that is going to bring up the designated hitter, Jose Marmolejos. For Marmolejos on the season, he is off to a difficult start. He's batting .182. He's got no homers and 4 RBIs. He was the AAA MVP last season in North America. He was with the Seattle Mariners organization, and he was a little bit up and down through the big leagues last year, and he takes a first pitch fastball for a called strike. And the count is 0-1. He's yet to make the adjustments in the NPB. And here comes the pitch from Ray. It's a fastball that misses inside, and the count now goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Marmolejos. When we've called these games before, we said it's very important for players, especially the import players, to get off to good starts with their new teams. There's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count goes to 1-2. Generally speaking, when they come in and they make some statements on how they play, it'll take the heat off them early and it buys them a lot of time. There's a fastball that misses down and away, and the count goes to 2-2. One such player who's off to a decent start is Brian O'Grady, the Saitama Cebu Lions. He came in and he got on a tear right out of the gate. There's the 2-2 pitch. Marmoleos swings and it's lifted into deep left center field. Moving back on it is the left fielder looking up, and it is gone. A home run. And Jose Marmoleos has hit his first NPB home run here in the top of the second inning to put the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles up by another run. It's now 2-0 on that shot to left center field. It was a no-doubter. You could see as it left the bat. The only question was it going to clear that huge fence in left center field? It's another unique piece about the stadium is that there's these huge fences in the outfield. There's no way any of these players are going to be able to scale a fence probably at least 20 feet high. But he had enough loft to be able to get it over. It ended up falling about 6 or 7 rows deep into the stands, and it's now 2-0 for the Golden Eagles. Brings up Ryosuke Tatsumi, and he takes a first pitch breaking ball for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Tatsumi, one of the few switch hitters in the NPB, or at least in the Pacific League, takes a breaking ball down, and the count goes to 1-1. He's batting .185 on the season with no homers and 1 RBI. We've done the Tohoku games. He's usually hitting down in the bottom of the batting order. Last year, he was mainstay for the first half of the season in the top spot of the batting order. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count now is 1-2. Colin Ray ready to go back to work. He delivers. It's a fastball swung on and missed. And Tatsumi is retired for the second out of the inning, and that's going to leave it up to Jinjiro Sumitani. For Sumitani on the season, he's batting .182. He's got a homer and 1 RBI. There's only 2 homers in the Tohoku batting order tonight, 2 players that have hit homers this year. As we said, in the bottom of the first, there were 3 players for Fukuoka, or check that, 2 players who have 3 home runs. So there is a power outage going on in the Pacific League. There's the first pitch fastball that misses upstairs, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes to Sumitani. Right-hander against the right-hander. Ray back to work. He delivers a fastball that misses off the outside corner, and the count now goes to 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. The other thing that we've noticed about the crowd is there are a lot of people, they're wearing light-colored clothing. Light blue, white T-shirts in the stands. There's a fastball swung on. It's grounded to short. It's backhanded by Imamiya. He goes across the diamond, and that is going to retire Sumitani for the third out of the inning. It goes as a ground out, 6-3 for out number 3, and that is going to do it here for the Eagles in their half of the second. But they get another run. There was 1 run in the inning on 1 hit. It was the home run by Marmoleos. There were no errors and nobody left the board. We're through 1.5. It is the Eagles 2, Fukuoka nothing. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a minute. Fluby is also Alex. He's just driving home. That's cool, Alex. We'll be right back in just a minute. Here's another one, this time from our friend Dave at Zero Fox Sports. Be sure to check out his channel after the game. He's a supporter of ours, and in turn, we like to support him.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for checking out the game and Last Raps Baseball. This is Dave, Zero Fox Sports Cards. If you like pack openings, baseball, all that good stuff, check us out. Drop a comment on our channel this month to win a mystery pack of cards. All you gotta do is say Last Rap sent you to be entered. And we'll drop a video later on this month announcing the winner. Enjoy the game.
Appreciate you, Dave, and your support. We'll be back in just a moment with the call at the bottom of the second inning. 2-0 Eagles over the Hawks. Welcome back, everybody. It's going to be the heart of the Fukuoka batting order coming up to face the right-hander Hideki Wakui. That means it's going to be Yorizabel Graciel, Taisi Makihara, and Seiji Ubiashi. 4, 5, and 6 hitters. For Graciel on the season, he's off to a slow start. He's hitting 182 with no homers and 4 runs batted in. Here comes the first pitch from Wakui. It is a fastball that's taken for a called strike, and the count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. And here comes the pitch from Wakui. It is a fastball swung on it. It is popped up into shallow right field. Moving back on it is the second baseman, Asamura. He camps out underneath it and he makes the catch, and that is going to be retiring Graciel for out number 1. That is going to bring up the second baseman, Taisi Makihara. For Makihara on the season, he's batting .256. He's got a homer and 7 RBIs. As we were starting to, again, allude to, only 2 players in this Fukuoka lineup have home runs tonight. 2 of them belong to Momori, and the other one is to Makihara. Makihara hits from the left side. He's got an upright stance. And here comes the first pitch from Wakui. It is a split finger pitch that is swung on and fouled away. And the count is quickly no balls and 1 strike. We're going to have to do some more research on this because last year we said that in the NPB in 429 games, there were 689 home runs. And when you think about that, that runs it up to about 1.6, 1.7 homers in a game. And there's a fastball swung on. It's driven into left field. It's going to get down for a base hit. It is fielded neatly by the left fielder Nishikawa, and he fires it back into the infield. So Makihara is aboard with a 1-out single, and that's going to bring up the center fielder Seiji Ubiashi. But this year here, certainly in the first 27 games played in the season, we saw last weekend there were only 24 homers. It really hasn't changed throughout the course of the week. We'll have to get some updated numbers on those, and we're going to look into that over the course of the week. Now, the other division, the other league, the Central League, has not missed a beat with their home runs. So curious to know if the balls that are being used in the Pacific League are different. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is driven into the left field corner. It's off the wall. Nishikawa plays it with his bare hand. He fires it back into the infield. Moving into third safely is Makihara. And on the base hit by Ubiashi, they now have runners in scoring position. That ball was a good piece of hitting. It was up and away. He went with the pitch. He was able to drive it into left field. He did a pretty good job of staying on top of the ball. And Ubiashi is aboard with a double, and that is going to bring up the right fielder Tetsuro Yanagamachi. For Yanagamachi on the season, he's hitting .333 in limited at-bats. He's got no homers and 2 RBIs. He bats from the left side here. He's in a position where he can drive in a couple of runs. Or even if he rolls one over here, they should be able to score one as they have the infield back. And there's a fastball that misses outside, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes to Yanagamachi. Gets himself dug in, and we're ready to go back. And as I said before in the first inning, for those of you who are just joining us, this is what we would call a neutral site game, as it's not at the PayPay Dome. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away. Much similar to the Koshin Stadium in Osaka, this is an all-dirt infield, as they're playing here at the Kitakyushi Citizens Baseball Stadium, also in the Fukuoka Prefecture. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Yanagamachi waiting on the delivery from the right-hander, and Wakui kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count is 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike to Yanagamachi. The runner at second is Ubiashi. The runner at third is Makihara. The Hawks are trailing 2-0 here in the second inning. They're looking to get back into the ball game here. And here comes the 2-1 pitch. And it is a split finger pitch that misses down, and that runs the count to 3-1. They do have the open base at first base. And the soft hitting Kenta Imamiya is on deck. So this is a guy that they want to be careful with a little bit, because with Imamiya and Takuya Kai coming up, there are possibilities that they could take the bats out of the Hawks' hands with the two hitters that are impending. So here comes the 3-1 pitch. Makui holds at the belt. He kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on and fouled away. And the count now goes to 3-2. Fluby Badoop says, you were saying about import players making a statement. It must have been as Jose Marmoleos hit his first home run of the season here in the top of the second inning for Tohoku. He's got himself off to a bit of a slow start, but if he keeps producing outside here, maybe he might want to look for a trade. And there's a fastball swung on. This ball is lined into left field. One run is going to get in. Here's the throw to the plate, and it has hit the runner Ubiashi in the back, and it squirts away. He slides in safely. Well, he looks like he is holding on to his arm. It looked like it got him on the backside of the right arm. And on the throw, Yanagamachi has cruised into second base, and that is going to tie the ball game. It most likely will be scored a single and advancing to second on the throw for Yanagamachi, but the score is now tied at 2 here in the second inning. It was a good piece of hitting. There was going to be a play at the plate. If that throw was on line, it would have been a bang-bang play. Instead, it hit the runner Ubiashi coming to the plate, and of course it scored it away, allowing Yanagamachi to go into second base. And the threat is not over here for Fukuoka in their half of the second inning. That's going to bring up the shortstop Kenta Imamiya. For Imamiya, he's hitting .222 on the season. He's got no homers and 2 RBIs. And the first pitch to him is a fastball that misses down, and the count is 1-0. Our friend Fluby says if you get hit at the plate and get an insta-walk, you ought to get into insta-walk for the wild fielding. Yeah, it kind of seems like it. He got drilled in the back, and he didn't even know it was coming. So 1 ball and no strikes. And the hitter, Imamiya, has asked for time. As they step away, the home plate umpire had stepped out from behind the plate, offering time. So 1 ball and no strikes to Imamiya. He digs in from the right side, facing the right-hander Wakui, and there's a fastball taken for a called strike. And the count is now even at 1-1. Kenta Imamiya is the all-time Pacific leader. And we've got Roger in the house. The all-time Pacific leader in sacrifice bunts. He's got 4 on the season, but one would think that this is not the situation here. 1 ball and 1 strike. Here's the pitch. It's a fastball taken for a called strike. And the count is now 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Imamiya. As I mentioned at the top of the stream, I am fascinated by this stadium. I've not seen games that have been played there before. So this is our first look at it. Every time they can give us some different angles, it's kind of cool. And there's a fastball swung on. It's grounded to the right side. Hideo Asamura fields it as he moves to his right. He throws to first. And Kenta Imamiya is retired on a ground out 4-3, but he does his job by advancing the runner over to third. As Imamiya is retired for the second out of the inning, and that's going to leave it up to Takuya Kai. For Takuya Kai on the season, he's hitting .139. He's got no homers and 1 RBI. I will say this, every time we did Fukuoka games last year, Kai was one of those players that we seemed to magically bring to life. But this year here, he may need us to supply more life into him because we haven't done enough Hawks games. And here comes the pitch. It is a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Roger asked the question. He says, any links for the game? Roger, if you hang tight for a bit, there's a fellow that's in the stream, Alexander Leggett. When he gets home, he's driving right now. And he maybe will be able to help us out or help you out. And there is something on Reddit that he will give you some directions on how to get to where you can do. There's something else, QQ, that will have games. I also know that depending upon where you're at, there's a breaking ball that misses down and away to Kai. That Yahoo, if you are in Japan, were doing games early in the year. And people who had a VPN, I'm not sure if they were able to get it if you were outside of the country of Japan. But that was, I'm not 100% sure on where that stood, or if they're actually still streaming games. They were doing it on the opening weekend. So here comes the 1-1 pitch. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count now goes to 1-2. Last season, DAZN was carrying the games in the United States. I'm not sure if they're even picking them up this year. We know that there was in Hawaii, they were doing some stuff a couple of years ago. I want to say it was ABC in Hawaii was carrying some of the games live. But we don't want to get ourselves into trouble for doing it. We are doing the live commentary, but we can start to nudge you in directions of where you can look for it. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. There's a fastball swung on, is grounded up the middle, and Takuya Kai has himself a base hit. And the Hawks now have taken a 3-2 lead as Kai had grounded that ball right back up the middle. Wakuya had stuck his leg out soccer style to try to stop it, but the ball ended up getting right past him all the way into center field. And the Hawks, just like that, have taken the lead 3-2 over the Eagles. That's going to bring up the top of the order, Masaki Momori. And by the looks of it, Roger is not pumping his fist for the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles, for the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. It looks like he is an Eagle fan. It's good to have some Eagle fans in the house. So Masaki Momori is now the hitter, and the first pitch to him is a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Momori tonight is 0 for 1. He popped to the catcher his first time up. His average has slipped to 357 now on the season. And here comes the pitch. It is a fastball swung on. It is lifted into foul territory. There's a lot of room between the third baseline and foul territory, but that is going to get into the seats. It's just beyond the third base dugout. That's going to make the count at 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. Nomura is waiting his turn on deck. That's Isami Nomura. So no balls and 2 strikes to Momori. And here's the pitch from Wakuya. It's a fastball swung on and fouled away. Just going to keep the count at no balls and 2 strikes. So no balls and 2 strikes, and then this is where the right-hander Wakui fires over to first, but diving back in time is the base runner Kai. One would think that Takuya Kai is not really a threat to run. I know in this situation, if he got into scoring position, they do have the leadoff hitter up. If he got thrown out, you'd still have the leadoff hitter coming up. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is hit over the head of Asamura. It's into center field. Digging for third is Kai. Here comes the throw, and it is not in time. They tag him again, thinking he may have went off the base. The third base umpire is having none of it as he is signaled that he is safe. Kai slides into third. Some good first to third running. Pretty exciting baseball. Mori has got himself a base hit, and the Hawks are still threatening here in their half of the second inning. That is going to bring up the third baseman, Isami Nomura. For Nomura tonight, he is 0 for 1. He flew out to right field. He back from the right side against the right-hander Wakui with runners on the corners. It'll be something to keep an eye on here to see if Mamori will be in motion. He has one stolen base this year. There's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is quickly 0-1 to Nomura. Nomura flew up to right field his first time up. He is a guy who runs a little bit, so he's got some wheels. And again, throwing over to first base is the pitcher Wakui. Diving back in time is Mamori. So no balls and one strike. The right-hander Wakui gets the sign from his catcher. He's ready to go to work. He delivers a fastball that misses off the outside corner, and the count goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. As we said, it's a beautiful day in the Fukuoka Prefecture for this one. As this game is not being played in the PayPay Dome, it is an outdoor ball game, and there's a breaking ball swung on. It's grounded up the middle. It's fielded by the shortstop Yamazaki. He flips it over to Asamura, covering the bag at second, and that is going to retire Nomura in a ground out. It's a fielder's choice. It's a ground out. It is 6-4. That will end the inning here for the Hawks, but they do some damage in the inning. There was 3 runs in the inning on 5 hits. There was no errors and 2 runners left aboard. We are now through 2 complete. It is the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks 3, the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles 2. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes. The call at the top of the 3rd inning. We're glad you guys can pop in to check this one out. Be right back. Here is our friend Matt again. This is Matt Hollis and another Hollis Build.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I'll take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
We appreciate you, Matt Hollis, and your support of our channel. And then in turn, we like to support Matt. Be sure after the game to check out another Hollis Build. And he is always a friend of ours, and we are definitely a friend of his channel as well. We're now moving to the top of the 3rd inning. It is going to be the top of the Tohoku batting order to get things going again against Colin Ray. That means it's going to be Nishikawa, Yamazaki, and Asamura. And the first pitch to Haruki Nishikawa is a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Nishikawa got things going for the Eagles in their half of the first. He walked. He went to the 3rd on the error by the pitcher on the pickoff. He later came and scored on the single by Asamura. He takes a breaking ball over for a called strike, and the count is now 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. So here goes Colin Ray back to work. He kicks and delivers. It's a pop-up on the right side of the infield. Moving over underneath it is the first baseman, Nakamura, and he's going to make the catch. And that is going to do it here for Nishikawa. So 1 up and 1 away. And that is going to bring up the shortstop, Tsuyoshi Yamazaki. For Yamazaki, tonight he is 0 for 1. He flew out to center field his first time up. He bats from the left side against the right-hander Colin Ray. Then here comes the first pitch from Ray. It's a breaking ball that misses down and in, and the count is 1-0. The way that both of these starting pitchers are throwing today, I'd be surprised if they really got more than 5 innings. And neither one has had great command or control of their pitches. We could be in for a long one here today. There is a fastball swung on. This ball is belted into deep left field. Backpedaling back onto the warning track is the left fielder Graciel, and he makes the catch. That is going to retire Yamazaki for the second out of the inning. So 2 up and 2 away for the Golden Eagles. That's going to leave it up to Hideo Asamura. For Asamura tonight, he is 1 for 1. He's driven in the first run for the Golden Eagles as he steps to the plate. One thing that you do notice is that they have a white line. The outfield turf or the grass or the turf in this situation is all the same all the way around. There is a completely dirt infield. As a first pitch fastball swung on and missed, and the count is 0-1. But in the outfield, the warning track, there is no warning track. There's a white painted line that rings about 15 feet in front of the fence. What they do in North America, and I would assume that they would probably do it in Japan too, although I don't want to make the assumption of this, is when the color is the same, how do you know that the wall is coming up? There's a fastball swung on and is foul tipped into the mid of the catcher Kai. Well, what they do is they typically will put crushed rock down. As they put crushed rock down, when you start running, you start feeling it under your feet, and you know that the wall is coming soon. And there's a fastball swung on. It is grounded on 2 hops. Diving to his left is the third baseman, Nomura. He gets up, he throws to first. And that is going to retire Asamura on a ground out 5-3. A fantastic play by the third baseman, Nomura. And that is going to retire the Eagles here in their half of the third inning. There were no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We're now through 2.5. It is the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks 3, the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles 2. We'll update our scoreboard and all the rest of that stuff when we come back. Here's our friend Steve again. This is Steve Rademacher, friend of our channels. Be sure to check him out after the game.
Hello, kids. Steve coming at you. It's Steve Rademacher. And if you like interesting stuff, if you like to laugh a little bit, and if you enjoy collecting, this channel's for you. If you like non-sport cards, we have them. You like pseudo-sport cards, we open them. Even if you like entire boxes of completely pointless stuff or other sports, we have everything here. I drop a different video every day, and there's always a theme to it, from No Filter Friday to Saturday morning cartoons, even Sunday shoutouts. Once in a while, we'll get a little froggy and show Money Money Monday, where I showcase a bunch of my currency. We have Legos, we have Star Wars, we have a good time. We even have my brother on Takeover Tuesday. Be there or be square. Back to Freddy.
Welcome back, everybody. It's the 3, 4, and 5 hitters here to face Hideki Wakui in the bottom of the third inning. And the first pitch that was delivered to Akira Nakamura was taken for a called strike. And the count is 0-1. And here we go again. And he delivers a fastball that misses low, and the count goes to 1-1. Fluby says he used to collect playing cards, but it felt irresponsible to be broke and have fancy playing cards from the 40s. It's kind of funny. There's a breaking ball that misses down and away. They ask for some help from the third base umpire, but they say that Nakamura didn't go, and that runs the count to 2 balls and 1 strike. So 2 balls and 1 strike. And here comes the pitch from Wakui. It is a fastball swung on and tap foul over on the third base side. And that is going to run the count to 2-2. It is, I don't want to say custom, but you do see that there are games from time to time that are played at different venues in the NPB. And one of them is you see the Oryx Buffaloes will also play some of their games in Kobe. Of course, they were the Kintetsu Buffaloes and the Oryx Blue Wave became one a number of years ago, and they still play some games in Kobe. There's a breaking ball that swung on its lifted foul. It's going to reach the seats. Actually, it might even clear the seats, and it looks like it goes right out of the stadium. That's going to keep the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. As we said, it's an interesting looking venue, just the way that it is situated. There's a lot of real estate between the foul lines and the back part of the stadium, and there's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes to Nakamura. As I said in the last half inning, I really don't see Colin Ray or Hideki Wakui making it more past the 5th inning. It would be a shock to me if these pitchers were still around past 5. There's a breaking ball swung on and fouled away. This is going to reach the seats again. And that keeps the count at 3-2 to Nakamura. This is going to be the 8th pitch of the at-bat. We see these marathon at-bats sometimes. This has already turned into a quality at-bat for Nakamura. Typically in Major League Baseball, the professional teams in North America will rule an 8 pitch or more at-bat as a quality at-bat. There's a breaking ball swung on. This ball again is fouled away over on the third base side. And that keeps the count at 3 balls and 2 strikes. The thing about the Japanese hitters, they're very good with their hands. They're able to really battle with 2 strikes. They're able to bat to ball contact is very, very strong. It's very difficult to strike out the hitters. So here comes the 3-2 pitch. There's a fastball that is swung on, and this ball is fouled off down the left field line. And that is, again, going to keep the count at 3-2. So we have ourselves quite the at-bat going here, as this is about to become pitch number 10. So Nakamura digs in. He's ready to get the offering from Wakui, who kicks and delivers. It is a fastball swung on. It is popped up. This is in foul territory on the first base side. Moving over underneath it is the first baseman, Daichi Suzuki. He makes the catch. And that is going to retire Nakamura after quite the battle for out number 1 here in the 3rd inning. As I mentioned earlier, the bullpens are in foul territory. And as the bullpens are in foul territory on both the right field and left field lines, it's also unique that the home plate is where the back to the catcher would be, his back would be to the hitter. And where it is positioned is actually where the infield dirt starts to turn into the outfield grass. It's artificial turf. So here's your Isabella Graciel, and he takes a first pitch breaking ball for a called strike. So the bullpen area is quite close to where home plate is. There's another breaking ball delivered to Graciel, and that's taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-2. But some of the uniqueness of the stadium, there is nowhere for these people or for these fans that are in the stands to hide. The sun is right on them. And there is a breaking ball that misses, and the count is 1-2. Our friend the Consonant has showed up. I remember this fella from before. We can't remember what to call him other than a whole bunch of letters, but we just call him the Consonant. And he wants to know who's got a better standing. There's a fastball that misses down and away, and the count is 2-2. Well, that would be the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks right now have a better record, and by that being marginally, than the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles. They are 11-3-1. The Eagles are 8-3. Of course, the Eagles were stung a little bit as a number of their players and coaches were hit with COVID. There's a fastball swung on. It's grounded back to the mound. It hits the pitcher, Wakui. He on the leg. He picks it up. He throws to first. That is going to retire Graciel on a ground out, 1-3. But Wakui is going to get himself a visit from the trainer. He stuck his right leg out. It's the second time we've seen that. It hit him in the shin, just below the kneecap. He was able to keep the ball right in front of him. He was able to pick it up in time and throw to first to retire Graciel. I'm just looking at it. It looks like it was in the more toward the inside of the ankle / calf area of the shin. So we're going to see he's going to get a couple of tosses here. Actually, he's going to come out of the ball game for a minute, and we're going to see if he goes to the trainer's room and if they're going to be able to bring him back in. This is something that we do see in Japan. They are usually take the players out of the game. He's going down the tunnel. That doesn't mean that he is done for the night. They'll go and do a quick examination of him, but they do have a right-hander and a pair of right-handers heating up in the bullpen. And we're not sure where that's going to be or where that's going to leave the Golden Eagles. Not only do the fans have nowhere to hide, the pitchers in the bullpen have nowhere to hide either, as it is, they're sitting in the sunlight. And so one would think that that is the case. And as we said, they got two right-handers that are hurrying to get themselves ready here, but we don't know yet if there is going to be a change, as that hasn't been decided as of yet. So a couple players getting themselves heated in a hurry. So we're going to just take a moment here. We'll be right back in a second. The score is 3-2, and we have ourselves a 2 out here in the top half of the third inning, the bottom half of the third inning. We'll be back in a minute and collect ourselves and hopefully get ourselves a pitching change. Be right back, everybody. Welcome back, everybody. And just as we suspected, Hideki Wakui is coming back out to the mound. Even though they were getting the bullpen ready, he has probably got the magic spray applied to him, and he is coming back. He's going to get a couple of warm-up tosses here before the danger button is pushed. Some of our friends in the chat were talking, and Fluby says the Tigers almost made a nice comeback against the Red Sox. And it was interesting that the Tigers were getting blown away the other night, and they did chip away. They ended up with the bases loaded and 2 out in that 8th inning, but they couldn't cash in to make it really exciting. That's the way it goes for Detroit these days. They did put Casey Mize on the 10-day disabled list today. They said he's got an issue with his elbow. They don't think it's anything serious, more maintenance than anything else. So it'll be kind of interesting to see. He's going to miss a couple of starts. Fluby says their offense is promising, but you can't win when you're giving up 5 to 6 runs every game. I'm not sure if you're talking about the Tigers or if you're talking about some of the other teams. The Tigers' offense looks a lot better this year, that's for sure. So here we go, everybody. Back to the live action as Hideki Wakui has completed a few of his warm-up tosses. We're ready to get this one underway with 2 outs in the 3rd inning. And here's the pitch. It is a breaking ball swung on and fouled away. It's going to reach the seats behind home plate, and the count is quickly 0-1. So it's Taisi Makihara who is up to the plate here. He is 1 for 1 today. He scored a run his first time up. He bats from the left side against the right-handed throwing Hideki Wakui. Wakui holds at the belt. He kicks and he delivers. There's a breaking ball that misses off the outside corner, and the count goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Wakui gets the sign from his catcher, and he's ready to go back to work. He kicks and delivers. It is a fastball swung on and missed. And that now makes the count to 1-2. I always find it sometimes humorous to see when pitchers maybe pick up a knock or they go down and they maybe haven't been as sharp, and then they come back and they absolutely deal. Maybe this is what's going to happen to Wakui. Maybe the whack in the leg is going to force him to focus a little bit more. So here comes the 1-2 pitch. And there is a fastball swung on. It's grounded to short. It's fielded by Yamazaki over to first. That is going to do it here for the Hawks in their half of the 3rd inning. They go in order. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We are now through 3 complete. It is the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles trailing the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks 3-2. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back for the call of the top of the 4th inning in just a moment. We're glad you guys are with us. Welcome back, everybody. We're moving to the top of the fourth inning. It is going to be the heart of the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagle batting order coming up to face Colin Ray. That means Hiroki Shimouchi, Daichi Suzuki, and Yoshiaki Watanabe will be the hitters here in the top of the fourth inning. For Shimouchi today, he is 0 for 1. He struck out his first time up as he digs in from the left side to face the right-hander Colin Ray. Ray working from the stretch with nobody on. He goes to work and he delivers a first pitch fastball that is swung on and missed. And the count is quickly 0-1. This ball game here started off with a run in each of the first two innings for the Golden Eagles. But it was a 3-run uprising in the bottom of the second by Fukuoka that has given them the lead. There is a changeup that is a check swing that is called a strike. That last pitch there was down. Shimouchi just could not hold up. That is going to make the count now at 0-2. Ray back to work. He delivers a breaking ball that misses down and in, and the count goes to 1-2. So 1-2. If you are just joining us, we appreciate you being here. We are doing the live commentary tonight of the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles and the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks, and there is a breaking ball that is down. The catcher, Takuya Kai, appeals down to third. The third base umpire says Shimouchi didn't go, and that evens the count at 2-2. So 2-2. Ray gets his sign from his catcher, and he's ready to go back to work. He kicks and fires. There is a fastball that misses upstairs again. They go down to the third base umpire, and again the third base umpire says he didn't go. That runs the count to 3-2. So 3-2 to Shimouchi. So Ray gets ready to deliver the payoff pitch. He kicks and fires. It is a fastball that misses off the outside corner. And Shimouchi has drawn himself a leadoff walk here to start the fourth inning, and that is going to bring up the first baseman, Daichi Suzuki. For Suzuki tonight, he is 0 for 1. He struck out looking his first time up. Suzuki is one of the many left-handed hitters in the batting order for the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles. We said they're very left-handed. So Suzuki steps up bat. Here's the first pitch from Ray. It is a fastball swung on and fouled away over on the third base side, and the count is quickly 0-1. All the other games are late starts. They're all going to be at 1 o'clock local time, so they're just getting underway. We'll make sure we give all the scoring as the game gets updated, as things get updated along the way. Here comes the one-strike pitch. And there is a breaking ball that is swung on. It is fouled off into the leg of Kai. And down on the ground he goes. We've seen some odd things tonight. As that pitch there was swung on, and that's why the catchers wear their shin guards on their shins. The catchers who catch off of one knee, as Takuya Kai has dropped to one knee, took it right off of the quad. And he is walking around on the left side. And he's patting it there. This is something that's come in vogue in the last couple of seasons in professional baseball with nobody on there dropping down to one leg to catch. Well, you've got all your padding on your shins. The padding is not on your quads. If he was in a normal setup, he probably doesn't get hit there. So now that is going to be an area of concern for him, especially not just now, but as the game goes on and possibly even tomorrow, that could keep him out of the lineup. So here comes the 2-strike pitch. Ray kicks and fires. It's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count goes to 1-2. You can still see, even on the throwback, Kai is hobbling. And now that he's got to get into his squat, that'll even make it even more painful. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to the hitter, Suzuki. Ray gets the sign from his catcher, and he's ready to go back to work. And here comes the 1-2 pitch. There's a fastball swung on, and it is lifted foul. It's going to reach the seats behind home plate. That keeps the count at 1 ball and 2 strikes. As we said before the game, Daichi Suzuki took a ball in the face. He's got this huge patch underneath his right eye. The catcher earlier in the game, Kai got hit with the foul tip, and then it ricocheted off and hit the umpire in the mask. So just some odd things going on tonight. Ray throws over to first base, and diving back in time is the base runner, Suzuki. So Ray ready to get back to work. He gets the sign from his catcher. He comes set at the belt. He kicks and fires. It is a fastball swung on. This ball is line foul. It just gets by the first base umpire. He had to hop and get himself out of the way, but that keeps the count at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Should Suzuki find his way on base, it'll be Yoshiaki Watanabe who is waiting his turn on deck. There's a fastball that misses up and away, and the count now goes to 2-2 to Suzuki. Suzuki last year had a pretty solid season. Look at some of the players that are in the lineup for the Golden Eagles. A lot of these players, not a lot of these players, but some of these players, when you think about it, Nishikawa, Asamura, and of course, when you look at Suzuki, they began their careers with other teams. Sometimes it is in the NPB, the player that starts with his one team, he stays with the team his whole career. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away. That's not the case with the Golden Eagles. They have a lot of players that had began their careers somewhere else and then joined the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles in the latter stages of their career, either through domestic free agency or via trade. So here comes the 2-2 pitch. This is going to be the 8th pitch of the at-bat to Suzuki. Ray kicks and delivers. It is a fastball swung on. It is lifted into shallow left center field. Moving back on it is the shortstop, Kenta Imamiya. Makes the catch over the shoulder. And that is going to retire Suzuki for out number 1. And that's going to bring up Yoshiaki Watanabe. For Watanabe tonight, he is 0 for 1. He flew out to center field his first time up. He steps up to the plate with the runner Shimauchi on first. Watanabe got the start at third base tonight. As we said, he is yet another of the left-handed batters in the batting order. So Watanabe digs at the plate. He's waiting from the offering from Colin Ray, who kicks and fires. It is a breaking ball swung on and fouled away over on the first base side. And the count is quickly 0-1. As we take a quick look, we will update everybody on the out-of-town scoreboard. There is already rumblings in Yokohama as they have taken a 2-0 lead over the Yakult Swallows. We'll get you all the updates on that as this game goes on. And here comes the pitch. It is a Fastball that is swung on and fouled away, and that is going to reach the seats over on the third base side, and the count goes now to 0-2. For those of you who are in here, we got Pooh Stitch is in here. He says, where can I stream this game? Well, we're giving the live commentary here. If you're looking for a live stream, he says, look up in chat Stitch. Says Flooby Badoop. If you go and take a look up, he's given some information of where that would be, and there's a fastball swung on and fouled away. And the count remains at 0-2. Our friend Sauce Up Game says, how about Torque with the game winner tonight? Yeah, that was pretty impressive. Pretty impressive for the Detroit Tiger fans that are out there that listen into our channel. It's good to see the Kansas City Royals take another one on the chin. Never been a fan of the Royals. There's the 0-2 pitch. There's a fastball swung on. Off to second goes Shimouchi. The throw down to second is in time, and that is going to be a strike him out, throw him out to end the inning. That's going to be caught stealing 2-6. A great play by Takuya Kai, and that is going to do it here for the Eagles in their half of the fourth inning. There was no runs, one hit, no errors, and nobody left the board. We are now through 3.5. It is the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks 3, the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles 2. Right back in just a couple moments after this. Here's our friend Dave again.
Hey everybody, thanks for checking out the game and Last Raps Baseball. This is Dave, Zero Thought Sports Cards. If you like pack openings, baseball, all that good stuff, check us out. Drop a comment on our channel this month to win a mystery pack of cards. All you gotta do is say Last Rap sent you to be entered. And we'll drop a video later on this month announcing the winner. Enjoy the game.
Thanks again. That's our friend Dave at Zero Fox Sports. Be sure to check out his channel after the game. He supports us, and in turn, we like to support him. We appreciate you for doing it. We'll be back in just a moment, everybody, with the call of the bottom of the fourth inning. We're glad you could be here with us, whether you're listening live or on delay. It is great to have you with us. Welcome back, everybody. We got Seiji Ubiashi, Tetsuro Yanagamachi, and Kenta Imamiya coming up to bat here in the bottom of the fourth inning. And the first pitch is a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is 1-0. So if Pooh Stitch is still in the house here, the one thing that you can do is you can go and, as Flooby suggests, he goes, you can look up the stream. Unfortunately, it's in Japanese. What a lot of people do is they sync the stream to our call, especially during the nights when we're on it here. So you're welcome to do that as well. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count goes even to 1-1 on Ubiashi. For Ubiashi, on the young season, he entered the game tonight hitting .300. He doubled his first time up and later came around and scored. It was a big part of the offense in that third inning, and there's a fastball swung on. It is grounded past the glove of the outstretched shortstop Yamazaki into left field, and it's going to be a leadoff single here in the bottom of the fourth, as he is aboard here to get things going, and that's going to bring up the right fielder Tetsuro Yanagamachi. Pooh Stitch says, theater of the mind. We'll do the best we can to paint the picture for you. So as I was mentioning earlier in the chat, this game is not at the PayPay Dome, where the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks call it their home. This game is at the Kitakyushu Citizens Baseball Stadium in the Fukuoka Prefecture. It is an outdoor stadium. It is a single-tier stadium. And what's fascinating about this, it's the all-dirt infield that we would see at the Koshin Stadium that the Hanshin Tigers like to do, or where they like to play at. And firing over to first base and diving back in time is the base runner Ubiashi, as Wakui is looking to keep him close to the bag. Biashi has one stolen base on the season. He can run a little bit. There's a fastball that's taken for a called strike. And the count is 1-2. Check that. The count is 0-1. I've got myself a little bit mixed up on the head of it here. I'm looking at the Seiji Ubiashi. Ubiashi actually hit the 1-1 pitch off of the right-hander Wakui. So here's the 0-1 pitch. It's a fastball that misses outside, and now the count goes to 1-1. Yanagamachi, his first time up, he singled and knocked in 2 runs. It was the throw from the left fielder Nishikawa who hit Ubiashi trying to score. Hit him in the back. It looked like initially we thought it was the back, but it looked like it was the tricep on the right arm. So here comes the 1-1 pitch. And Wakui kicks and delivers. It is a breaking ball that misses outside. The count is now 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. It always is a fascinating time. When we call games during the middle of the week, we get a significantly different crowd than we do on the weekends. On the weekends, we get the kind of the listeners and so on and so forth. When we do games during the week, we get the gambling crowd in here. So here comes the 2-1 pitch. And there is a fastball that's swung on, and it's grounded foul. They have protection over there for the Tohoku catchers who are warming up the pitchers that are in the bullpen. But that ball came off the bat in a hurry, and it was almost going to catch the one catcher on a ricochet. That evens the count at 2-2. Sauce Up the Game says it's always the gambling crowd. The gambling crowd does make it exciting. Last week we gave our predictions on one of the games, and we were 5 for 6. We got 5 right, and we only got 1 wrong. We're going to have to do that again when we do the midweek stuff. And there's a fastball swung on and missed. Yanagamachi is retired on strikes for out number 1 here in the 4th inning. That is going to bring up the shortstop, Kenta Imamiya. Yeah, definitely the weekday games with all the gamblers in the house here. We're not going to do any weekday NPB games until probably, I think it's Golden Week is going to be our next weekday set of games. And part of the reason for that is last year I was doing the games at 2 a.m. It was going to kill me. That's 2 a.m. Pacific time. So that's going to bring up the shortstop, Kenta Imamiya. Imamiya tonight is 0 for 1. He grounded to second his first time up. And here's the first pitch from Akui. It's grounded back up the middle. It's fielded by Yamazaki. He steps on the bag at second. He fires to first. And that is going to be a double play. That's going to go in the books as a 6-3 double play to end the 4th inning. So for Fukuoka and their half of the 4th, they had no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left the board. We are now through 4 complete. It is the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks 3, the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles 2. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back for the top of the 5th inning in just a moment. We're glad you guys could be with us. Here's some of our Japanese Baseball Hall of Fame memories. Check this out. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the top of the 5th inning, and our friend Pustich says, where can I find your broadcast schedule? Well, you are on YouTube. We do have announcements of what we're going to be calling over the next week. We are going to be, our next Japanese game that we will call will be a week from tomorrow. It'll be next Saturday. And usually what we do is it'll be a kind of a game time decision. I look at the matchups. I look to see who's who and what's what. And that kind of gives me the decision on what I'm going to call. I will say this, that I will call all of the interleague games, even during the week. I will force myself up to do those games, and we will do those during the interleague portion of the season, which comes up in about a month's time. So that will help you as well. But if you go onto our channel, page, we do have the upcoming lives that we are going to do, but they're all Major League games in the daytime. But we are going to be next Saturday back on for the NPB. So if you sub to us and you bookmark us, you'll know ahead of time. We always put it up about at least 24 hours ahead, if not more. So here comes the first pitch to Jose Marmoleos, and he swings and fouls it away, and the count is 0-1. Marmoleos answered the call in the second inning as he hit a home run, his first in the NPB. He is 1 for 1 tonight. Marmoleos, of course, is off to a bit of a slow start. Here comes the pitch from Ray. It's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is 1-1. Of course, Colin Ray may have been the tonic that this hitter has been able to enjoy. Marmoleos also batting from the left side here. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. There's a fastball that misses off the outside corner. They appeal down to the third base umpire, and he says he didn't go, and the count's now 2-1. It's been a busy night tonight for the third base umpire. He's had a lot of calls that he's had to make in this early going. A lot of check swings between the two clubs. And there is a changeup that misses down, and the count now goes to 3-1 to Marmoleos. So just to finish off with our friend Pustich there, as far as our schedule is concerned, we're not doing anything at all tomorrow. Nothing at all. Part of it is my own personal schedule. I can't get any of the games in tomorrow. There is a fastball that misses down, and that is going to bring ball forward to Marmoleos, and he draws himself a leadoff walk here in the fifth inning. That's going to bring up Ryosuke Tatsumi. But we are going to do two games on Sunday in Major League Baseball. The first one we're going to do is the San Francisco Giants and the Cleveland Guardians. That's going to be an early Sunday game. It's about what I believe just after, I believe it's a 1:40 start on that one, Eastern time, 10:40 on the West Coast. We are going to do the Sunday night game between the Atlanta Braves and the San Diego Padres. So hopefully you can tune in. So here's Ryosuke Tatsumi at the plate, and he takes a first pitch changeup down in the dirt, and the count is 1-0. For Tatsumi tonight, he is 0 for 1. He struck out his first time up. He is not off to a solid start this season as he entered the game hitting only 185. Here's the 1-0 pitch. It's a fastball that misses low, and the count is now 2-0. As I said early in this one, I would be very, very surprised if both Colin Ray and Hideki Wakui make it beyond the fifth inning. And you can see the manager for the Hawks is kind of giving the hurry-up signal to get some action going in the bullpen. Here's the 2-0 pitch, and there's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 2-1. We are going to do some singlet games during the week. We are going to do the Patriot game. It is going to be a very early start in the morning on Monday. It is going to be 11:10 Eastern time, 8:10 on the Pacific Coast between the Minnesota Twins and the Boston Red Sox. So that game we are going to be calling. We're also going to be doing some midweek action as well, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into deep left center field. It's going to get down. It gets up against the gap, and it's up against the wall. Digging for two is Tatsumi. Heading into third is Marmoleos. And the Eagles are flapping their wings here in the fifth inning as they've got runners on second and third with nobody out. And that is going to bring up the catcher, Jinjiro Simatani. So Simatani steps up to the plate. He is 0 for 1 tonight. He grounded to short his first time up. And we do have a conference on the mound as Colin Ray is getting a visit from the pitching coach. Our friend Fluby over there had given some information again, but he said he still can't find the stream. If I remember off the top of my head, I want to say it was QQ, but I don't know what that is. And then there's also a NPB Reddit thread that also has some as well. Gives you some links or some leads for options. So if you go to Reddit and go NPB Reddit, you may be able to find a list of those links. So the Hawks have the infield in. There's no grass in the infield, so they're pretty much in front of even with the bag. And the first pitch is a breaking ball swung on and missed, and the count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and one strike to Simitani. Simitani hitting in this situation with the 3-2 lead. The Hawks are trying to cut the Eagles down at the plate. I would say if the Eagles can maintain, or if the Hawks can maintain a lead here, and there you have one of the best bullpens and a rested bullpen in all of the NPB. As they did not play last night, there's a fastball that misses up and away, and the count is 1-1. Certainly with Maury and with Levon Moinello at the back end, they are very, very difficult to score runs on late in games. So if they can get through these next couple innings with the lead, it is almost automatic that it'll be lights out for the Eagles. The Eagles have to find a way to scratch in these runs here. Here comes the 1-1 pitch, and it's a changeup that misses down, and the count is 2-1. I can't miss out on this opportunity here with runners on scoring position and nobody away. So 2 balls and 1 strike to Simitani. The runner at third is Marmoleos. The runner at second is Tatsumi. Colin Ray gets the sign from his catcher Kai. He holds at the belt. He kicks and fires. It is a fastball swung on. It is lifted foul down the right field line. The count goes even to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. This is not Colin Ray's first foray into the NPB. Ray was with the Hawks last year. He appeared in 6 games at the top flight, but he left the club early to return to North America. People were wondering if he was going to come back, and they inked him to a deal again this year. He had to leave suddenly for some personal reasons, and there was a fastball swung on and missed. The catcher, Simitani, is down on strikes for the first out of the inning. Some clutch piece of pitching here by the right-hander Ray to blow it by the hitter, Simitani. The last pitch was a 2-seam fastball that had a little bit of run on it. And that retires Simitani for out number 1, and that's going to bring up the left fielder, Haruki Nishikawa. For Nishikawa tonight, he got things going in the first inning with a walk, and he ended up coming around to score the first run of the ball game. Part of it was the contribution of the error by the pitcher Ray, who threw an errant pickoff attempt into the right field corner. He has also popped out to first. He's officially 0 for 1. And here comes the first pitch. It's a fastball taken for a called strike. And the count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike to Nishikawa. As we mentioned, he is another left-handed hitter in the lineup. You think about it, it is a very, very heavy left-handed hitting lineup for the Golden Eagles. And it's not just because they have a right-hander on the mound. They will hit sometimes 7 lefties against a left-handed pitcher as well. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count goes to 0-2 on Nishikawa. Nishikawa does have a homer and 8 RBIs on the season. As we mentioned at the top of the stream, there is a power outage in the Pacific League this year. There's not a lot of home runs by hitters in this ball game, although Marmoleos did add 1 to that tally tonight. Fluby asks the question, am I rooting for one team or another here? Neither one. I like both of these teams, actually. I like the way both teams play. There's a fastball that misses inside, and the count is 1-2. When I think of good fundamental baseball, both watching the Hawks and the Eagles, they play fairly well. They're not offensive to watch. I do like watching Chiba as well. Side of a Cebu Lions, it's a bit of a challenge watching that group. I like some of the players, but I don't know if I like their entire group. The Oryx Buffaloes really played well last year. There's a fastball taken on the inside corner for called strike 3. Nishikawa doesn't like the call. He stood there like the house by the side of the road and watched it go by. But boy, oh boy, that pitch there, Colin Ray got himself a favorable call from the home plate umpire. And that is going to retire Nishikawa for the second out of the inning. And that is going to move the defense back as they don't have to play the infield in to cut the runoff at the plate now. That is 2 away, and that brings up the shortstop, Tsuyoshi Yamazaki. Yamazaki, again, is another left-handed stick in the order. He is 0 for 2 tonight. He's flown out to center and flown out to left. Here's the first pitch from Ray. It's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count is 0-1. Fubi says he's more of a Hawks guy in terms of raw stats. They're a better team, but their defense is what sells it. Yeah, it is. Both of these teams have played pretty steady defense. As I said, they're very fundamentally sound. They don't kick a lot of balls around. In fact, I would even take it one step further and say the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles, who play on grass, might even make them more intriguing in my eyes. It's a little easier in some ways to play on the turf because you get the natural hops. There's a fastball that misses up and away, and the count goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Yamazaki. Ray gets the sign from his catcher, Kai, and he comes sent at the belt. He kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on. It's grounded up the middle, and it's going to get past Imamiya into center field for a base hit. 1 run is in. Here comes the throw, and it is cut off, and all the way from second is Tatsumi. He scores. And now we have a 4-3 lead for Jose Marmaleos and Tatsumi as they cross the plate. The Golden Eagles are now all tied up. And that's where we have it here. It is 4-3 on the 2-run single by Yamazaki. Our friend Pustich says, found the stream. He says, tell us a little about yourself. You're well-spoken and knowledgeable. Well, if you want, you can go and look on our website at lastdropsbaseball.com. It'll give you all the information right at the top of the stream there, right at the top of the About Us page, and you can find out a little bit there. So here comes Hideo Asamura. He is 1 for 2 today. He's singled, driven in a run, and he's also grounded out to third as the Eagles have now taken the lead. And the first pitch fastball is swung on and missed, and the count is quickly 0-1. So Asamura got things going in the first inning. And this ball game here is now picking up the pace a little bit. It's been a seesaw affair. Eagles jumped out 2-0, and then the Hawks came back with 3, and now they've come back with 2 again. There's a fastball swung on, and again, the home plate umpire takes the brunt of it as it fouls it right off of the mask of the home plate umpire. That's the second time tonight he has taken a foul ball on the mask. If anybody's ever taken a 90-mile-an-hour foul tip in the face mask, if you get it in the right spot, sometimes it really loosens up your jaw, and I would say that home plate umpire is feeling it tonight. So here comes the 0-2 pitch. There goes the runner. Down to second is the base runner Yamazaki, and the throw is not in time from Kai. Yamazaki's got himself a stolen base here as he's now moved himself into scoring position. Fluby says the Eagles are starting to have their Taiwanese cousins rub off on them. The Monkeys are killing it. I don't really watch much about the Taiwanese league. I think there's 4 or 5 teams in that league. I don't pay a lot of attention to it very often. So 1 ball and 2 strikes it is to Asamura. The runner now at second base is Yamazaki. And the Eagles are looking for more here in the 5th inning. Comes the 1-2 pitch. It's a fastball swung on. It is lifted into center field. Moving over underneath it is the center fielder, Seiji Ubiyashi, and he makes the grab. That is going to do it, but there has been damage done here in the 5th inning. There were 2 runs in the inning. There were 2 hits. There were no errors and 1 runner left aboard. We are now through 4.5. It is the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles 4, the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks 3. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple minutes. We're glad you guys could be here with us tonight. Here's another one of our Japanese Baseball Hall of Fame memories. Welcome back, everybody. We're moving to the bottom half of the fifth inning, and it is going to be the 9-1-2 hitters in the batting order coming up for Fukuoka. It means Takuya Kai, Masaki Momori, and Isami Nomura are going to be coming up here to face the right-hander Hideki Wakui, who says his stream is 30 seconds behind, so I still get the theater of the mind. Yeah, well, sometimes we have a little bit of a delay here too. So, sometimes if you just pause it and sync it, you might be a little behind with us. So here comes the first pitch to Kai. It is a fastball swung on. It's foul tipped right into the catcher. And here we go again. This is approximately for the first 5 innings. Either the catchers or the umpires have taken a ball in either the thigh, the groin area, off of the mask or somewhere. And now the catcher, Jinjiro Simitani, is going to have to walk around here as he gets a visit from the trainer. This is unbelievable tonight. So 1 strike it is to Takuya Kai, and if anybody who feels bad for him, it's going to be Takuya Kai. Of course, Kai is the catcher for the Hawks. So no balls and 1 strike, and Wakui ready to go back to work. He kicks and he delivers. It is a fastball swung on. It is lifted into the seats down past the first base dugout, and the count goes to 0-2. Very impressed with the crowd here at the stadium. As we said, there's a lot of powder blue shirts. Wasn't really sure what that was, but they are Fukuoka t-shirts for the SoftBank Hawks. A lot of fans in white and powder blue shirts at this game. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. And Wakui kicks and fires. That is a breaking ball that misses down and away. And the count is 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Kai digs in. He's got a very open stance as he waits on the delivery from the right-hander Wakui. There's a breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. As we said, we're really interested in the interleague play that's going to come up in another 4 or 5 weeks from now. Can't wait to do some of that stuff. Usually it starts in May and goes into June. There's a fastball that misses inside, and the count now goes to 3-2 to Kai. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Masaki Momori waits his turn on deck as Kai is looking to get on base for the top of the order. So here comes the 3-2 pitch. He kicks and fires. It is a fastball swung on. Its tap foul over on the third base side. And that is going to keep the count at 3-2. Curious to see if Colin Ray is going to make another appearance. I have a sneaking suspicion his day is done. But you never know. Certainly in Japanese baseball, they've been known to run their starters up to 120 plus pitches. And here comes the 3-2 pitch. And there is a breaking ball that swung on. Its tap foul behind home plate, and the count remains at 3-2. We've got quite the battle going on here with the hitter Kai. Kai today drove in a run in his last time up. His single put the Hawks up ahead 3-2. There's a very, very good crowd on hand at the Citizens Stadium, and there is a fastball that misses inside, and Kai is aboard with a leadoff walk here in the 5th inning. So he is the runner at first, and that is going to bring up Masaki Momori. Our friend Fluby says, seems grueling. Urias for the Dodgers is already suffering from throwing over 600 pitches last year. I think he probably threw more than 600, but maybe more like 6,000. 600 would probably be about 6 games worth. Always interested to see. I remember back in the day when Brett Saberhagen pitched for the Kansas City Royals back in the late 80s and early 90s. It was like he won a Cy Young Award every other year. He'd be good for a season. He was terrible for a season. Good for a season. Terrible for a season. At that time, they thought that it was because he was more of an upright pitcher, put more of a toll on his arm, and it took longer to recover. I don't know if that was truth or lore. I think it was more lore than truth. There's a fastball that gets away from the catcher off the glove. Down to second base goes Kai. And he is going to go on a pass ball to second. That is ball one now to Mamori. We've got Jimmy Redbeard in the house. Welcome, Jimmy. We've got one ball and no strikes to Masaki Mamori, and Takuya Kai is now in that scoring position as he has advanced to second on the pass ball. Mamori tonight is 1 for 2. He singled and popped to the catcher. Fluby says the Eagles are winning, and yes, they are as of right now, but that could be subject to change. There's a fastball delivered to Wakui. Squaring to bunt is Mamori, and it comes up and catches the catcher, Sumitani, again. This is about the fourth time tonight that Sumitani has been hit. He's ranked there with Kai on foul tips. This is crazy, and he's going to have to get a visit because that ball came up and it hit him in the left forearm. So the trainers tonight for both teams are definitely making their money. That is going to make the count at 1-1, but Sumitani basically was pretty quick to say, I'm ready to go, and they're going to keep this one going. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Mamori waits at the plate on the offering from Wakui, who checks the runner at second. He kicks and delivers. Mamori again squares the bunt, but that pitch misses down and away, and the count is 2-1. One thing that would be interesting here is to see how the balls on this surface bunted would play. Obviously, with grass, there's certain angles that you want to get the bunts down. Sometimes the surfaces around home plate are quite hard. Sometimes you want to get more topspin on the ball. If you get a ball on a hard surface that you put a different angle on it, it can really get to the fielders. And so there's a fastball that misses down and away, and the count goes to 3-1. So I really don't know what the surface is like here. Pustich asks a very good question. He says, what are the current mentalities from Japanese baseball versus baseball in America? Do they still force Tom Selleck to play small ball? Yeah, Tom Selleck, of course, was in that movie where he was with the Chinichi Dragons years ago. There is a lot of small ball. And there's a 3-1 pitch delivered. It's bunted. It's a good one. It's fielded by the catcher, Sumitani. He throws to first. It is going to advance Kai over to third. That's going to go down as a sacrifice, 2-3 for out number 1. It's going to bring up the third baseman, Isami Nomura. So to answer Pustich's question, some of the interesting things, really the thing that stands out for me the most is the two-strike approach. The Japanese two-strike approach is really, really good. When I think of North Americans with good two-strike approach, I think of Joey Votto and I think of Anthony Rizzo. Both of those two players, they will shorten up. They will shorten up their stroke. They'll choke up on the bat. They'll eliminate their stride. They'll do certain things to basically be able to, what I would say, really battle the pitchers with 2 strikes. Sometimes, depending on who the pitcher is, they might even do it earlier. So here comes the first pitch to Nomura. The infield is now in for the Eagles. There's a fastball that misses down, and the count is 1-0. But I'll carry on with that thought of the two-strike approach as we move along here. So the first pitch that was taken by Nomura was a ball in the dirt, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Nomura digs in from the right side. He's got the golden batting gloves with the white trim, and there is a fastball swung on and fouled away. It's going to reach the seats on the first base side of home plate, and the count goes to 1-1. So just a couple of more things that I was thinking about with regards to that two-strike approach. Carter Stewart, who is over in the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawk camp, he said it was very, very difficult to strike hitters out in Japan because they did a very good job of firing the bat and throwing the bat at the ball. And he had a very difficult time of being able to go up high to try to strike out the hitters. There's a fastball that misses inside, and the count is 2-1. Some of the things that have been in vogue in North American baseball have been launch angle, where hitters are trying to hit the ball into the seats. Whereas in Japan, that's not necessarily the case. They don't have that type of style. They're more slap hitters, get the ball in play. So he found it was very difficult to come up in the zone to try to blow a high fastball by the Japanese hitter. They do a pretty good job of staying on top of the ball. And there is a fastball that's grounded back to the pitcher. They've got Kai hung up between home and third. And now we've got a rundown on our hands, and Simitani has dropped the ball. He underhands it over to the covering third. Now back to the plate. They do finally get Takuya Kai. If I had to give you the rundown on this, it was absolutely an abysmal way of handling the rundown. The Hawks, it was a ground ball back to the pitcher. Wakui needed to run at the runner at third. Instead, he threw it to the plate. Then the catcher throws it down to the third baseman. He runs it back up the line, but then he dropped the ball. As he dropped the ball, he underhanded it to the shortstop, Yamazaki, who chases the fielder down, but then he threw it to Suzuki, who applied the tag, and getting all the way around to third base is the runner, Nomura. Unbelievable. So a nice heads-up base running by Nomura on the fielder's choice. A terribly executed rundown. I can't even give you the repeat of that one. You're going to have to go back if you're keeping score at home to figure that out for out number 2. That is going to bring up Akira Nakamura here with 2 outs in the 5th inning. Gladys Jimenez says, you got $2,000 on the Eagles. There's a fastball that misses outside. The count is 1-0 to Nakamura. Well, the Eagles do have a 4-3 lead, and they were very fortunate in that poorly executed rundown to be able to get the second out of the inning, but they're still not out of the woods yet with the 3-hole hitter Nakamura at the plate. So Nakamura digs in. The right-hander Wakui kicks and delivers. There's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count now goes to 1-1. So lots of excitement. If you got an Instagram account, usually after the game, the Eagles and the Hawks will post up some of their highlights. That was definitely a highlight. Maybe not for the right reasons, just the poorly executed rundown by the Eagles. But they were very fortunate to get the out. So 1 ball and 1 strike. And here comes the pitch. It is a fastball that misses off the outside corner, and the count now goes to 2-1 to Nakamura. Fluby says, even at this point, they don't deserve to win. It's been a entertaining affair, that's for sure. And Pooh asks, is it Shinsuke Nakamura? No, the Nakamura is Akira Nakamura. He's the first baseman tonight for Fukuoka. There is a fastball that misses outside, and the count now goes to 3-1. So 3 balls and 1 strike to Nakamura. It is Eurizabel Graciel waiting his turn on deck. He is the cleanup hitter tonight. Wakui certainly does not want to face him with runners on the corners, as Graciel has the reputation of being able to do some damage from his previous years in the NPB, although he's off to a slow start this year. So here we go. Here comes the 3-1 pitch. Wakui holds at the belt. He kicks and fires. It is a fastball taken for a called strike at the knees, and the count goes to 3-2. One would think that the batter Nakamura would want that one back again. Wakui really made a nice pitch. It had some backdoor run on the fastball. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. There's 2 away here in the bottom of the 5th. It is a 4-3 Eagles lead. The Hawks are threatening again. Wakui checks the runner at third. He kicks and fires. It is a breaking ball swung on, and this is going to reach the seats over on the third base side, and that is going to keep it at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Pooh asks if he can be a guest on the show for an inning. Well, maybe in the future, we can negotiate something out. Gladys says the Japan baseball strike zone is wild. Yeah, sometimes depending upon who the umpires are, you really have to wonder. 3 balls and 2 strikes. And here's the pitch. It is a breaking ball swung on. It is going to be lifted into the seats down the third base line and is going to keep the count at 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes to Nakamura. A lot of high-end entertainment there with that rundown. We do appreciate everybody who has stopped in here tonight for our call of the Hawks and the Eagles. It is a beautiful day for baseball in the Fukuoka prefecture. We are glad that you guys could stop by for all the play-by-play. So 3 balls and 2 strikes to Nakamura. The runner at third is Nomura. There's 2 away here in the bottom of the 5th, and Wakui is ready to deliver. He kicks and fires. It is a changeup swung on. This ball is lined past the shortstop into left field. And we are tied up again as that is going to drive in Nomura from third base. He will score. And Nakamura has himself an RBI single. We are all knotted up at 4 apiece now here in the 5th inning. That is going to bring up the left fielder, Yurizabel Graciel. And, that play that the runner at third, and we have to give Takuya Kai credit. Kai was able to stay in that rundown. When we criticize the Eagles, we also have to tip our hat to the runner Kai. By him staying in the rundown, that allowed the runner Nomura to get all the way around to third. And of course, the base hit scored him. But if he was only at second base, they may not have scored that run. It might have been a play at the plate. So Graciel steps up to the plate and he takes a first pitch fastball low and away for ball 1, and the count is 1-0. So sometimes we have to look at one team and then also have to acknowledge the other team on how they did as well. So here comes the pitch. It is a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is now 2-0. Fluby says he did end up at the Nationals opening day weekend. I remember you said you were going to opening day. Certainly the New York Mets are off to a pretty solid start. Buck Showalter it'd be fun to watch him manage that group over there. It's not his team yet. He's going to get some of his players in there. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted down the right field line. Coming hard over is Hiroki Shimouchi. He's going to make the catch in foul territory, and that is going to do it here for the Hawks in their half of the 5th inning. So for Fukuoka, they got 1 back to knot the game up at 4. There was 1 run in the inning. There was 1 hit. There were no errors and 1 runner left aboard. We're now through 5 complete. We'll be back in just a couple minutes. We are going to give you the out-of-town scoreboard when we return. Thanks for being here, everybody. Hang tight. I'm going to grab myself a drink. And in the meantime, you can hang out here with our friend Dave.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for checking out the game and Last Raps Baseball. This is Dave, Zero Thought Sports Cards. If you like pack openings, baseball, all that good stuff, check us out. Drop a comment on our channel this month to win a mystery pack of cards. All you gotta do is say Last Rap sent you to be entered. And we'll drop a video later on this month announcing the winner. Enjoy the game.
Appreciate you, Dave. That's Zero Fox Sports. Go over to check him out. Let him know Last Raps Baseball sent you. He's always good for giving stuff away, and he is going to do that on his channel. He's got all kinds of good stuff. Be sure to check out Zero Fox Sports when you get the opportunity. Here's our friend Steve Rademacher. We'll be back in a moment, and then we'll give you some of the out-of-town stuff. Here's Steve Rademacher.
Domo arigato. Sorry if I mispronounced that. I'm new at this. Thank you for watching Last Raps Baseball. Tell all your friends and family to come check him out, ask some questions during the telecast, and give him a good sub and a thumbs up. And this is Steve coming back at you, and some new things on my channel. Star Wars figures that everybody likes. We have Mad magazines from the 1970s. We try to avoid the Noid, and for your pleasure, once in a while, we can open up Michael Jackson if you want, the cards. We have Elvis. We have Sadahar O. We love everything that is everything, so we even have the Beatles fighting with lightsabers. Look at that, John and George. Once in a while, we'll even have my brother take over my channel on a Tuesday. So once again, everybody tell your friends, come see Freddie at Last Raps Baseball. And right now, I'm going to kick it right back to you, Freddie.
Thanks again, Steve. Just a couple of things. I'm catching up on the chat here. Ruben says, what's the correlation with the Mets in this game? Not much. We were just talking that our friend Fluby went to the opening day of the Nationals and the Mets. So we got a little bit sidetracked on that. Just saying that Buck Showalter likes good fundamental baseball, and these two teams normally play pretty good fundamental baseball, do the Hawks and the Eagles. And then the other pieces, we look at some of the stuff here as well. Obviously, there's a lot of different things. 4-4 is the score as we're moving to the top of the sixth inning. And so we appreciate you guys that are doing some of this stuff. Taking a look at the out-of-town scoreboard, all the games are now in action. It is in the bottom of the fourth inning. The Yokohama Dana Bay Stars have a 4-0 lead over the Tokyo Yakult Swallows. In the top of the fourth inning, the Yomiuri Giants are trailing the Hanshin Tigers 1-0. Of course, Hanshin is off to a real abysmal start to start the year. When you think about the Hanshin Tigers, last year, they were one of the best teams for the first 6 weeks of the season, and they were off to a huge start out of the gate, and for them to be this bad this early is really a conundrum. It's a bit of a head-scratcher. The Chinichi Dragons have a 2-0 lead over the Hiroshima Carp. That's in the bottom of the third inning. Those are all the scores in the Central League. In the Pacific League, it is the Hokkaido Nippon Ham Fighters knotted up with the Chiba Lotte Marines 1-1. And in the other game, the Oryx Buffaloes and the Saitama Cebu Lions are 0-0. That is in the bottom of the third. Right here in this one, it is 4-4. As I said, it's the interesting part about this game tonight. It's not at the PayPay Dome. It is at the if I'm saying this correctly, Kitakyushu Citizens Baseball Stadium. And that is also in the Fukuoka Prefecture. It is an independent league team that plays their games at this stadium. And so it's a little bit different than what we are used to seeing. It is an all-dirt infield, much like the Koshin Stadium in Osaka. And, of course, it is a single-layer stadium here. There is no upper deck. The fans are in the open, and it is a sunny day, and they are getting absolutely scorched. The other neat thing about the field is they've just run the tractors over the infield. It's the all-dirt infield, and now they've got the water out, and they're spraying over the dirt to keep it down. And so they are going to do a little bit more gardening here, and we'll be getting back to the action in a few minutes. But it is a kind of a neat-looking venue. As we said, they've got a lot of real estate in foul territory on the first and the third base side, so when balls get popped up over there, the players have to go for quite the run. But I kind of like the idea of having some games that are played in different ballparks. Kind of like what Major League Baseball has done by going to Williamsport to have their Little League Classic or their Field of Dreams games. Those are kind of cool, unique for the fan and the experience, especially in marketplaces where there isn't Major League Baseball. For myself personally, and talking selfishly, living and growing up from old Detroit Tigers Stadium, only 20 minutes away from my parents' house growing up, we were over there all the time. And of course, getting a chance to go to Exhibition Stadium in Toronto 4 hours down the road, also for quite a bit of time during the year, was a lot of fun to go see games. So those two opportunities to see a lot of stuff as a young kid that a lot of people in certain places are not able to be able to get to. And so I like this idea of the way that they have some what I call neutral site games around it about. I think it's a great thing for them to be able to connect with the fans who may not be regulars in cities where they can go and see the games. So hopefully they continue to do this, and that is where it's going to be. We do appreciate everybody here as we are talking some of this. Gladys says the Dodgers are the team to beat this year. I think you're right. I mean, it's hard not to think that they aren't. This is certainly the Los Angeles Dodgers. When we talk about stuff in the chat, it's hard not to like them. Certainly them and Dave Roberts' computer, who makes all the decisions, it seems. That is where we stand. So as we wait here going into the top of the sixth inning, we're waiting for the infield to be finished off here, but it is seems like a little bit longer break than we normally get. And it does look like Colin Ray is going to come back out for the sixth inning. I would have never guessed that. We'll see what happens if they go to the bullpen quickly or if they're going to let him finish off the sixth inning. So stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a minute. We appreciate you guys tuning in and listening. And this one's going to get ready to come back in just a moment. Here is our friend, Steve, again.
Hello, guys. Thank you for joining Freddie here on his baseball game. And I'm Steve Rademacher, and my channel is really all about everybody, including all my international friends. We have such stuff as non-sport packs from Canada, the OP cheese. We have the Greek Freak. We have money from around the world. We have lira. We have yen. We have francs. We have pounds. We have Deutschmarks. We have all kinds of cool stuff like that. We even have some cooler things like Japanese women wrestlers and OP-Chi baseball cards where I cannot read the back. We even have unopened material like the royal family, I know it's backwards, from London, England. Thank you for watching. Back to Freddie.
Appreciate you there, Steve, and we thank you again for your support. They've got about a quarter or to a third of the diamond watered down here, so it looks like we're going to have a little bit more time than normal on our hands. Our friend Pustich says, where are you from? I'm from Windsor. That would be exactly where I was from, and I've been out on the West Coast for the last 14 years. Well, I shouldn't say that, probably a little more than that, 14 years via a trip over in Europe, or I shouldn't say a trip, actually a job over in Europe for a bit. And so that is where we are on the West Coast these days. So that's going to mean that you're about at 2:08 in the morning at Windsor time. But nothing like getting over the old Ambassador Bridge over into downtown Detroit to be able to watch games. Going to be back in Windsor in the late August. I see the Mariners and the Royals are going to be in town, so I'm going to try to get over at least 3 or 4 times to Comerica Park to see that. Looking forward to that. So hopefully that'll be an opportunity not missed at that time of the year, as this game is definitely taking a time here for them to get this field in shape. Looks like that they have got most of it down, as they have dragged it, they've watered it, but we still are waiting for the resume to play. So we're going to see how this one is about to play up. So Colin Ray is back on the hill. He's going to get his warm-up tosses. Or, nope, they are going to go to the bullpen. I thought we were going to see Colin Ray out here again, but his day is going to be done. They are making a pitching change, and we're going to have to get that updated for you. So the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks are going to the bullpen. It is a right-hander. It's number 48. And I'm going to have to get the update on that, as our roster is a little bit out of date. So Ray is done for the day. I have a feeling that this is Fuji, but I'm not 100% sure. We saw him earlier this year, and that's exactly who it is. He's pitched pretty good. This is Koya Fuji. He's appeared in 6 games. He's 2-0 for the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks this season. He's pitched in 6 innings. He allowed 2 hits. He has struck out 9, and he has walked 2 in that time period. He's only allowed 1 run, which has been earned. His ERA is 1.50. Who says, beers on me in August at the old Don Cherry's. Yeah, or the Chicken Court, if you remember that. Don Cherry's was on, what was it, on Victoria? So Don Cherry's on Victoria, and then you've got the old Chicken Court is what became Don Cherry's. So here we go, everybody. We're into the top of the 6th inning. It's going to be Hiroki Shimochi, Daichi Suzuki, and Yoshiaki Watanabe to face the right-hander Fuji here, as we're ready to get this one back underway. The first pitch is a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. So we'll get all the extra specs on Fuji here in just a moment. As he kicks and delivers, there's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. He says Oleta Avenue is the, I'm not sure. Don Cherry's was on the street. Actually, it was on Polisher. Don Cherry's was on Polisher. Victoria was the one over from that. There was a fastball swung on and fouled away. The count is 1-2. Polisher is the street that runs parallel to Oleta Avenue. And then, of course, parallel to Polisher is Victoria. There used to be a good Chinese restaurant on the corner of Victoria and Wyandotte back in the day. And here comes the pitch. It is a breaking ball swung on. It is looped into center field, and this is going to get down in front of Ubiashi. And Hiroki Shimauchi is on with a leadoff single here to start the 6th inning. That is going to bring up the first baseman, Daichi Suzuki. For Daichi Suzuki, he is 0 for 2 today. He struck out looking in the first, and he has popped to short. So 0 for 2 it is. A lot of old watering holes in downtown Windsor back in the day. There used to be all kinds of stuff. It used to be really humming in the 80s and 90s, especially when the US dollar was at a premium. A lot of Americans would come over to Windsor. So Daichi Suzuki steps up to the plate, and he's already squaring the bunt. And here comes the pitch from Fuji, but instead he fires over to first, and diving back in time is the base runner Shimauchi. This is the part of the game in Japan that I do like to see. There is some of that, but they also do slash. And slash meaning that what they like to do is they will pull back and actually swing as the corners will be advancing into cover. And here comes the pitch. It is bunted. It's down the first base line. It's a good one. Suzuki gets it down. The only play is going to be to first. That's going to be a sacrifice 3-4 for the first out of the inning, and that's going to advance Shimauchi into scoring position. That will bring up the third baseman, Yoshiaki Watanabe. Well, our friend Pooh says about going down to some of those other ones. Yeah, the $1 Million I don't think exists anymore. I think it's just across the way, or is it Jason's that doesn't exist anymore? I think that some of those landmarks are long gone. Plunkett's, I don't even know if that exists anymore, unfortunately. Gladys says the MLB Mets pitcher Max Scherzer is making more money this year alone than the entire Orioles team together. It's fascinating how that is sometimes, that some of these players are compensated what they do, and certainly the Orioles are a ways away. And there's a split finger pitch taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1 to Watanabe. If you're an Oriole fan, stay tuned, because Baltimore is about to become good in the next couple of years. The only thing that is a concern is still their pitching. They're going to have to do something in the free agency. They do have Grayson Rodriguez and DL Hall that there is a lot of talk about them getting to the big leagues and being impact guys. And here's the 0-1 pitch. It's a fastball that misses on the outside corner, and the count is 1-1. The thing is with Hall and Rodriguez, they are both quality players, at least prospects in the minor league system. But the offense of the Orioles looks like it is going to be something to watch. Already, Mountcastle is up in the big leagues, and Cedric Mullins is looking like he's panning out after a big year last year. But Adley Rutschman, Colton Cowser, Keston Herstad got a lot of help on the offense coming up. There's a fastball that misses inside, and the count is now 2-1. Yeah, Pooh says, and Wuggle Ugly One, that used to be the old saying downriver in Taylor, Michigan. They had, or I think it was Taylor near the airport, there was something called the landing strip. And they always used to say it there. And then I think the $1 Million picked up on it for a while. So 2 balls and 1 strike. And here comes the pitch. He kicks and delivers, does Fuji. It's a fastball that misses inside. And the count goes to 3-1. Vivid Life says, kind of betting against the Orioles and Pirates in most games this season. You can't not bet against the Diamondbacks as well. I think the Diamondbacks are in worse shape. I might even say the Pirates are better than those two teams. Maybe. So 3 balls and 1 strike. Fuji gets the sign from his catcher. He's ready to go back to work. He checks the runner at second. He kicks and delivers. It is a split finger pitch that misses down. And Watanabe is aboard with a walk here, and that's going to put runners at first and second. That is going to bring up the designated hitter, Jose Marmoleos. For Marmoleos tonight, he's had arguably his most productive night in the NPB. He homered in the second inning. That gave him his first home run, and he walked and scored a run in the fifth. Our friend Pustich says he's turned this into a Midwest Japanese baseball stream. Yes, that's the way it goes. Fluby says he's passing out. He's going to take care of it. Appreciate you being here, and be sure to check out the rest of the game tomorrow when you wake up on the flip side. So the runner at second is Shimauchi. The runner at first is Watanabe. And Jose Marmoleos is stepping up here to the plate with one away in the top of the sixth inning. We appreciate everybody who does turn into our streams. Some of the earlier streams we had this year were absolutely crazy. We could not keep up with the chat. There is a breaking ball that's taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1 to Marmoleos. And sometimes it looks like a breaking ball, and it's actually sometimes a split finger pitch. We get it on the replay. That last pitch there looked like almost like a 12-6 breaking ball. But it was a split finger that hung up in the zone. Sometimes it's hard to read at full speed. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. It's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count goes to 1-1. If Fuji could throw something off speed here to induce a rollover by Marmoleos, this would be a potential for a double play. Marmoleos runs okay, but he's not the fastest guy. Would be a double play candidate here for sure. So here comes the 1-1 pitch. Fuji delivers. It's a fastball swung on. It's popped up behind home plate. Kai may have room. They're racing over to the third base dugout, and it's the third baseman who makes the catch. That is Nomura, who is able to do it right in front of the dugout, right in front of the Tohoku dugout. He went as far as he could, and he didn't fall in, and they were able to retire Marmoleos. It's going to go as a pop-out to 5 for out number 2. And that is going to bring up the center fielder, Ryosuke Tatsumi. For Tatsumi tonight, he is officially 1 for 2. He scored a run. He doubled and scored a run the last inning. And he struck out back in the second. So there's 2 aboard with 2 out here in the top of the 6th inning. And Tatsumi is called upon to do some damage. And here comes the pitch. It is a fastball that misses outside from Fuji. And the count is 1-0. Pooh says, how come we didn't get the Tiger job? Yeah, it's an interesting story between Rod and Mario. That's unfortunate because they were actually a pretty good duo. Who knew that it was going to be a wrestling match in the broadcast booth? And there's a fastball that swung on and missed. And the count goes to 1-1 on Tatsumi. Vivid Life asked the question, does the NPB have many power hitters? Well, right now in the Pacific League, it is a power outage. Check our community page. I'm going to do something on it this week. I'll put it up onto our community page and do a quick examination. But as I mentioned earlier in the stream here tonight, last year in the Pacific League, there were 689 homers hit in 429 games. So if my math is right, that's about 1.6 home runs, 1.7 home runs per game. That's a fastball that's taken low and in to Tatsumi, and the count now is 2-1. This year, here in the first 27 games, there were only 24 homers. Well, and when you look at both of the lineups tonight, coming into tonight's game, only 2 players in the Tohoku lineup had home runs. There's a fastball swing on. This is golfed into right field. Moving over to his left is the right fielder, Yanagamachi. He's going to make the catch. And that is going to do it here for the Eagles in the top of the 6th. They threaten, but they don't score. There was no runs in the inning. There was 1 hit, no errors, and 2 runners left aboard. Moving to the bottom of the 6th inning. I'll come back to that in just a minute, Vid Life. I'll share you some more thoughts. We'll be back in just a moment. We're glad you guys are with us. Hold tight, everybody. And it looks like we do have a pitching change for the Eagles. We're glad you guys are here. Here's another one of our Japanese Baseball Hall of Fame memories. Welcome back, everybody. We are cruising to the bottom half of the 6th inning. It looks like that the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles are going to be going to their bullpen. We'll get you that change in just a moment. A couple of questions came up. How long is this ballpark? So Pooh Stitch asked the question. It's a good question. The problem is I can't give you the dimensions on this. This is the first time I've ever seen this park. Normally, the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks call the PayPay Dome as their home stadium. And this particular stadium that they're playing at tonight is called the Kitakyushu Citizens Ballpark Stadium. It is an outdoor stadium. It is a single-seat stadium. If I can paint the picture for you, think of Micmac Park. To our friend Pooh Stitch who's in here, he'll know what I'm talking about. It's kind of a cool-looking place, though. It's not too shabby. But it is a little different. So I actually don't know what the dimensions are down the lines. I've tried to do some research on it before the game, and coming up empty. It is home of it to some of the independent teams, or one of the independent teams that play in Japan. So we have a pitching change. It's going to be Naoto Nishiguchi on the hill for Tohoku, and he is going to deliver a first pitch fastball that is to Taisi Makihara, who swings and pops it up into left center field. Moving over underneath it is the center fielder, Tatsumi. He makes the catch, and with one pitch, there is one away here in the bottom of the 6th inning. It's going to bring up the center fielder, Seiji Ubiyashi. So it was Makihara, Ubiyashi, and Yanagamachi here to face the right-hander, Nishiguchi. So Naoto Nishiguchi on here taking over. He's the second pitcher used by the Golden Eagles. As this has now become a battle of the bullpens, and there's a fastball that misses inside, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. But I do like the idea, as I said earlier on, about these games being played in other locations. Maybe not a whole season's worth, but certainly kind of neat to see that in a little bit smaller venue, get to connect with some of the fans a little differently. Certainly, Major League Baseball could use to be a little bit more fan-friendly. So the count is 1-1 on Ubiyashi. Here comes the 1-1 offering. It is a split finger pitch that's swung on. It is fouled away, and it's going to break the bat of Ubiyashi. He's got it in pieces. He's going to have to go and get himself a new piece of lumber as the count goes to 1-2. Vivid Life says it's crazy because the pitchers throw for so long. You'd think they'd be able to clear a few, or at least in the games that he's seen. Yeah, it's interesting. Also to the ballpark dimensions, they're not exactly huge. But certainly there are some players that are in the Japanese league. Traditionally, the Japanese players themselves do not have a lot of depth in the home run department. And there is some power that is in the Central League. There's a fastball that is swung on and fouled away, and the count remains at 1-2 to Ubiyashi. The two players that come to mind initially right now for the Yakult Swallows are Tetsudo Yamada, the regular second baseman, and Murakami, the third baseman, who led the NPB last year in home runs. I believe he had 39 off the top of my head. Those two players there, right out of the gate, they can provide a lot of power. And now there is a split finger pitch that bounces about 20 feet in front of the plate and hops over top of both the catcher and the umpire, goes all the way to the backstop. It's going to run the count to 2-2. The other one is the Hanshin Tigers outfielder. It also is worth noting, and that is Sato. I believe it's Sato, the right fielder. He's not in the lineup tonight for the Tigers. I'm not sure where he's at. But both of those players, they really look like they can play or even project as major league players. There's a split finger pitch that is swung on and missed. And Ubiashi is retired for the second out of the inning. So 2 up and 2 away, and that leaves it all up to Tetsuro Yanagamachi. For Yanagamachi tonight, he is 1 for 2. He singled and knocked home a pair of runs in the second inning. He later came around to score himself on a single by Takuya Kai. So he's having himself a productive evening tonight. He's been a part of 3 of the 4 runs the Hawks have scored. And there's a fastball that misses outside, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Our friend Pooh Stitch asked the question earlier on. He said, what are some of the differences in the NPB? And I said, one was the 2-strike approach. Another one is where the pitchers will stand and play catch in front of the dugouts. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is driven to deep center field. Moving back is Tatsumi, but he's going to have to play it off the fence. Cruising into second base with a stand-up double is Yanagamachi. And he's got himself a 2-out double here. That ball was absolutely scorched. It was taken off the fence in center field. As we said, the fences at this ballpark are quite high. I would say that fence in center field has got to be a good solid 35 feet high. He could not clear the fence. Tatsumi does a good job of playing it off of 1 hop and firing it back into the infield. And that is going to bring up the shortstop, Kenta Imamiya. For Imamiya on the season, on the evening, he is 0 for 2. He's grounded to second, and he grounded into a 6-3 double play his last time up. His average has slipped to 213 on the season. So Nishiguchi gets ready to go back to work, and he delivers a fastball for a called strike, and the count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Right-hander against the right-hander. Mamiya waiting on the offering from Nishiguchi. He checks the runner at second, and he kicks and fires. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away. It's going to reach the seats well behind home plate. It's going to run the count at 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. Kenta Imamiya is a slick fielding shortstop. And he is, we said earlier in the game, he has the all-time record in the Pacific League for sacrifice bunts. I wonder how he goes into a contract negotiation with his club where he says, hey, I hold the record for sack bunts. You guys got to pay me. There's a fastball swung on and missed. And Imamiya is retired on strikes for the 3rd out of the inning. So they get a double, and they leave a man in scoring position, but no damage done here for the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles in their half of the 6th. There was no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left aboard. We are now through where are we at, boys? We're now here. We're going into the top half of the 7th inning. It is now tied at 4. We'll be back in just a couple minutes. Got to give myself a drink. Give myself a head a shake because we're starting to get some cobwebs here. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving to the top of the 7th inning. It's going to be the 9-1-2 hitters in the batting order coming up, and it is still going to be Fuji on the hill for the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. That's Koya Fuji. It looks like he's coming back out for his second inning of work tonight. Well, you mentioned before, he is out of the league for a couple of seasons. He played from 2017 to 2019 with the Hiroshima Toyo Carp. Was not in the NPB for the last couple of seasons, and he's made a resurgence here with Fukuoka, and he's pitched very effectively in the early goings. So he's going to face 9-1-2 in the batting order. So Sumitani tonight is 0 for 2. He's grounded to short and struck out in his 2 times up, and he swings and misses at a fastball. And the count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Ready to go back to work is Fuji, and he delivers a breaking ball that swung on and missed, and the count now goes to 0-2. A lot of people bouncing in and out of our stream tonight. I find it quite fascinating. Sometimes we get people and they hang right around. Other people, they bounce in, they bounce out, come and see what's happening, and they leave. We're glad those of you who are able to stick around are staying with us. There's a fastball that misses outside. And the count now goes to 1-2. That last pitch, I want another look at that one. That last pitch looked pretty darn good. The catcher, Kai, who set up on the outside corner, hardly had to move his glove. So here's the 1-2 pitch. That is a split finger pitch that is spiked into the ground. It's about 15 feet in front of the plate. We've seen a couple of those tonight. The pitches here are just absolutely crazy. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. And here comes the pitch from Fuji. It is a breaking ball swung on. It is grounded to second. It's fielded easily by Makihara. He throws over to first, and that is going to retire Sumitani for out number 1. Goes as a ground out 4-3 for the first out of the inning, and that's going to bring up the top of the order, Haruki Nishikawa. For Nishikawa tonight, he is officially 0 for 2. He did walk and score a run in the first inning. He's also popped to first and struck out looking his other 2 times up. But with that being said, it looks like we are going to get a pitching change here. And that is going to be it for Fuji as he is getting the hook here with 1 out in the 7th inning. And we will be back in just a moment as we do have a pitching change on our hands here. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back after this. Hang tight. Would you like to support Last Drafts Baseball? We would appreciate it if you did. Be sure to check out our eBay page where we have baseball merchandise. We also have stuff from the Japanese League for those who listen from Japan. But we also do other sports like football and basketball as well. Don't forget, visit Last Drafts Baseball's eBay store to help support the channel. We'll be glad you did. Welcome back, everybody. We do have a pitching change on our hands, and it is a reliever. It's going to be Shinya Kayama coming into the ball game. He is a left-hander, and he's going to be taking over here for Koya Fuji. And, of course, this is a left-handed laden lineup. I was kind of surprised they went with a right-hander with Fuji coming in. Now they're going to go with the left-hander Kayama to try to bring this one home for them, or at least to a point where they can do it. They also have some other arms in their back end that can come from the left side. So Shinya Kayama in the game. He is completing his warm-up tosses, and we are about ready to get this one back underway. So Kayama will face the top of the order, and it's going to be Nishikawa, Yamazaki, and Asamura. The top part of the order here with 1 away. And that is where we stand. And so here we go. Pooh says, you were right, call it a strikeout swinging. Possibly so. So here we go, back to the live action. Here comes the first pitch to Nishikawa. It's a fastball swung on. It is grounded right to the first baseman, Nakamura, who fields it and steps on the bag. And that is one pitch, and we get the second out of the inning, and that is going to bring up the shortstop, Tsuyoshi Yamazaki. Yamazaki had a big hit his last time up. He singled and knocked in a pair of runs in the 5th inning. He also stole a base. He's also flown to center and flown to left. He is 1 for 3 tonight. As we said, he gets the nod as the shortstop. He's raised his average up to 179 on the season. So we've got ourselves an entertaining 4-4 affair here. Here comes the pitch. It is a fastball that misses inside. And the count is 1-0. Yeah, that was probably a little earlier on. I'm not sure if we're on the same right now together here. As I see Pooh looking at it, here comes the 1-0 pitch. There's a fastball that misses up, and the count is now 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes to Yamazaki. Another fella who is a Windsor, Ontario guy, if you listen to the Blue Jay broadcast, Joe Siddle works the booth for the Toronto Blue Jays, one of Windsor's finest. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. There is a breaking ball that swung on and missed. The count now goes to 2-1. Oh, now I understand what you're saying. That would have been, strike 3. So 2 balls and 1 strike it is to Yamazaki. And here comes the pitch from Kayama. He kicks and delivers. It's a fastball. Take it for a called strike. And the count goes to 2-2. Should Yamazaki find a way on base, it'll be Hideo Asamura who waits his turn on deck. Pooh asks Siddle, it's 2 Ds, Siddal. I believe 2 Ls as well. So here comes the 2-2 pitch. And it is a changeup that is swung on. And here we go again. The first few innings of this game, the umpires and the catchers were getting hit by pitches. That ball was fouled in the dirt, and it came up and hit the home plate umpire in the forearm. And he's jumping around. There's better hope that there's a lot of ice available for the catchers and the umpire tonight. That one caught him in the forearm as it came up off of the ground. Kind of strange. This has been a really weird game as the catchers have just absolutely been beaten up tonight, as has the home plate umpire with foul tips and foul balls. So that is now 2 balls and 2 strikes. And here comes the pitch from Kayama, who kicks and delivers. It is a fastball that misses down and away. And the count goes to 3-2. You know, sometimes you can go 5-6 games and you rarely see any foul tips that catch a catcher or an umpire. And tonight we've got to be approaching easily into double digits. Both the catchers have been hit in multiple places, off the face mask, off the thigh, the legs. It's been absolutely incredible. There is action in the Fukuoka bullpen. Levon Manello is up and starting to get loose. One would think we're going to see him in the 8th inning, and there is a breaking ball that misses for ball 4. I'd like to see that one on the replay again. That actually looked like it might have caught the corner, but instead that's going to bring the manager out of the Fukuoka dugout, and it looks like we're going to get a right-hander to come in to face Yamazaki. So unlike in Major League Baseball where you have to face 3 hitters, they don't have that rule in the Japanese League. So that looks like it is going to be it for the left-hander Kayama. He is going to be out as Hideo Asamura steps to the plate, and they are calling for a right-hander. And we'll get that change for you here in just a moment. We'll be right back, everybody. We're glad you are with us. We're tied at 4 here in the top of the 7th inning. Hang tight. Here's one of our Hall of Fame memories again. Welcome back, everybody. The pitching parade continues for Fukuoka. This is going to be number 11, Yuki Samori, coming into the game. He is going to be taking over for Shinya Kayama, who came on to face a couple of batters. He was able to get the first batter. He faced Nishikawa to ground out, but then he walked Yamazaki, and now that is time for the call to the bullpen. So it will be Samori in here to try to get this one put away for the Hawks in their half of the defensive half of the seventh inning. So Yuki Samori is in, and Kayama is out. So as he's completing his warm-up tosses, we'll be ready to get this one back underway. Our scorecard is starting to look like a coloring book now, as we are all over the place with our stuff, with all the changes. So this brings up to the plate Hideto Asamura. Asamura is 1 for 3 in an RBI tonight. He stands in from the right side, and he's ready to go to work. Here comes the first pitch. It is a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count is 1-0. Pooh says he met Pat Borders at Devonshire Mall. He gave me his autograph for free because I was only 6 and by myself and had only $10 for a $15 signing. It's kind of funny. 1 ball and no strikes. Here comes the pitch, and it is a fastball that catches the outside corner, and the count goes to 1-1. I don't remember Borders ever signing at Devonshire Mall, but they might have been. I think there was somebody called Stars of the Game or something like that ran a store there for a bit. And they had some guys come in and do some stuff. 1 ball and 1 strike to Asamura. So here comes the 1-1 pitch. Kicks and delivers. It is a fastball swung on and missed. Asamura looked like he wanted to put that one right into the stands. That ball was absolutely, it was almost like a rising fastball as the pitch was delivered with a low 3/4 arm slot. Had a little bit of a rise to the pitch, and Asamura swung right through it. That is going to make the count at 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Samori gets the sign from his catcher. He's ready to go back to work. He kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on, and it's going to reach the seats behind the first base side of home plate. That keeps the count at 1-2. Yeah, Stars of the Game was the place, and the guy who used to own it was a lawyer in town who used to have a place over off of McDougal. That was where his law office was. His name was, I believe, Mario Carnival was the fellow who owned that. So here comes the 1-2 pitch. Samori holds at the belt, and he kicks and fires, and there's a fastball swung on. It's grounded to third. It's fielded by the third baseman, Namara. He fires to first, and that is going to do it for the Eagles in their half of the seventh. That goes as a ground out, 5-3 for out number 3. There were no runs in the inning, no hits, no errors, and 1 runner left aboard. We're through 6.5. It is the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks 4, the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles 4. Looks like we're getting another pitching change. We'll come back in just a minute, and we'll fill you in on all the details. Here's our friend Steve again.
Domo arigato. Sorry if I mispronounced that. I'm new at this. Thank you for watching Last Raps Baseball. Tell all your friends and family to come check him out, ask some questions during the telecast, and give him a good sub and a thumbs up. And this is Steve coming back at you, and some new things on my channel. Star Wars figures that everybody likes. We have Mad magazines from the 1970s. We try to avoid the Noid. And for your pleasure, once in a while, we can open up Michael Jackson if you want, the cards. We have Elvis. We have Sadahar O. We love everything that is everything, so we even have the Beatles fighting with lightsabers. Look at that, John and George. Once in a while, we'll even have my brother take over my channel on a Tuesday. So once again, everybody tell your friends, come see Freddie at Last Raps Baseball. And right now, I'm going to kick it right back to you, Freddie.
Thanks again, Steve. We appreciate you and your support of the channel, and in turn, we like to support him as well. That's Steve Rademacher. Be sure to check out him after the game. And we are moving to the bottom of the seventh inning. It is going to be Takuya Kai, Masaki Momori, and Isami Nomura coming up to bat. That is the 9, 1, and 2 hitters in the batting order. I'll have to get you the update in just a moment as they are doing the dancing out in the outfield. We do have the gals are out there doing their thing. But we are going to have a pitching change for Tohoku. Last year, it used to be kind of interesting. We used to see the reliever Sung used to come into the game in about the 8th inning. Used to be around his time, Chiha Sung. But we don't see him. I haven't seen him this year. I don't know if he's still with the club or not. He is, but I haven't seen him yet. And so that'll be him. And so here we have a reliever on the hill for the Eagles. We'll get you that in a minute. It looks like it's Alan Bazenitz. And the first pitch delivered to Takuya Kai is taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Bazenitz, of course, missed some time this year because he was diagnosed with COVID. He missed a little bit of stuff here about a couple of weeks ago as the whole team got bit by it. There is a changeup swung on and missed, and the count is now 0-2. So Bazenitz is on the hill here, facing Kai, Momori, and Nomura. So here comes the 0-2. There's a fastball that misses outside. The count is 1-2. I can tell you, Mario Carnival, I remember him specifically for a couple of reasons. This is the lawyer that's there. He not only did he own that particular store, but we had one time back in 1987, and I'll tell the story. There's a fastball that misses down and away. Jim Hawkins used to be a writer for the Detroit Free Press years ago, back in the 70s. I don't know if he was still writing in the 80s. I want to say back in the 1970s, late 60s. There was a fastball taken for a called third strike. Takuya Kai is retired on strikes for out number 1 here in the 7th inning. That's going to bring up the top of the order, Masaki Momori. For Momori, tonight he is 1 for 2. He's singled. He's also popped out to the catcher, and he had a sacrifice bunt his last time up. So I'm starting to tell a story about this Jim Hawkins. He was a writer for the Free Press. He used to do sports cards shows down in Plymouth, Michigan at the Plymouth Hilton. He used to get a lot of big names that would come up. And I remember specifically back in 1987, there's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is quickly 0-1. In 1987, in November, right around the Thanksgiving weekend that the United States has, which is at the end of November, on the last Thursday in November, there's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-2 now to Momori. He used to do a card show, and he'd bring in autographers from around, all over, former players. And the two guys particular that weekend, he had Don Drysdale, of course, a Hall of Famer from the Dodgers. There's a breaking ball that misses outside, and the count is 1-2. And the other one that he had was, not only did he have Don Drysdale, he had Mark McGwire come in, who had just set the rookie home run record. And my father in particular was kind of brassed off that he had to pay more money for a McGwire than he had to do for a Drysdale. And so there's a foul ball that's reached the seats over on the third base side. The count still remains at 1-2 to Momori. So what happened was he bought Mark McGwire was charging $7 for an autograph at the time. And there is a fastball swung on, is grounded over to second. It's fielded by Asamura. He flips it to first, and that is going to retire Momori on a ground out, 4-3 for out number 2. So just to finish off on the story, Drysdale was only charging like $5 for the autograph. And my dad was ticked off, and he couldn't believe that a Hall of Famer was charging less than a big leaguer. We'll try to get Mark McGwire's autograph for $7 today. You probably have to put a 0 at the end of it, if not more. So that's 2 out. That's going to bring up the third baseman, Isami Nomura. Nomura tonight is officially 0 for 3. And he swings and misses at the first pitch from Bozenic, and the count is quickly 0-1. Nomura, as we said at the onset, he is a rookie getting the nod here at third base. And here's the pitch. It's a breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count is 1-1. He entered tonight's affair hitting .235, but he is 0 for 3 tonight. He's bounced that fielder's choice twice and flown out to right field. And here comes the pitch. It is a breaking ball that misses down, and the count now is 2-1. So in 1987, I would have been at that time around 15 years old, something like that, about 14 or 15. As I do my quick math in my head, it was 15. I hadn't turned 16 yet. There's a fastball that swung on and missed. And that is going to be 2 balls and 2 strikes. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. So here comes the 2-2 pitch to Nomura. He kicks and fires. It's a fastball that misses down, and the count is 3-2. Pooh says he knows a friend who brings a notary with them to autograph signings. Kind of interesting. The Michigan area used to have a lot of that stuff years ago, and there's a breaking ball that's taken for a called strike, and Nomura is retired for out number 3 here in the 7th inning. There were no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left aboard for Fukuoka. We're now through 7 complete. It is the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles for the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks 4. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple minutes with the call of the 8th inning. We're glad you guys could be with us. Hold tight, everyone. Here's our friend Steve again.
Hello, friends. Steve coming back at you, a clean-shaven Steve. Thank you for watching Last Raps Baseball, and please continue to support my channel among others, like Another Hollis Build, awesome commercial. And now I'll show you a few more things that we do have. We have toys, like this bobblehead Star Wars on wheels. We have Noids. We can't keep avoiding them forever. We do have Legos. Love my Legos. We have Origami Folder. Check him out. He's new into this, getting started, has good following already. We have Red Beard Breaks. And we also have these things that, in a pinch, will tell you what your temperature is. So, if you like all of this, and if you like Last Raps Baseball, join all of us. We'd love to have you. And I know you would enjoy us. Thank you, peace, good night, and cheers.
Welcome back, everybody. It is another pitching change for the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. The pitching parade continues. This is the 5th pitcher used tonight by Fukuoka. It'll be Levon Moinello onto the hill, the Cuban left-hander. And Fireballer is taking over here in the 8th inning. He's going to face the heart of the Fukuoka batting order. It's going to be Hiroki Shimauchi, Daichi Suzuki, and Yoshiaki Wanabe. So the 4, 5, and 6 hitters are coming to bat. Pooh asked the question, have I been to Japan? The answer is yes. How's the ballpark food? Well, that I can't answer because at the time of the years that I've been there, I have not had the opportunity to eat the ballpark food indoors. But the food itself is outstanding if you get a chance to get to Japan. There's a fastball that is swung on and popped up. It's on the third base side. Coming in is the third baseman, Nomura, and he's going to make the catch. And that's one pitch. We have one away here in the 8th inning. That is going to bring up the first baseman, Daichi Suzuki. The Japanese food is absolutely outstanding. For those of you who are listening in, if you're Japanese, you know what I'm talking about. For those of you who have never been to Japan, the culinary event of what it is fantastic. And there are so many different things. Of course, the ramen is a staple of everyday life. I have to say, I'm not a sushi fan, so that wasn't something that I was going for. That's just my own personal preference, but I do like the ramen, all kinds of it. There's a fastball that misses inside. The count is 1-0. And in fact, I went for ramen tonight. The city of Vancouver has an outstanding ramen scene. If you're ever in the Pacific Northwest of the United States, and you can bounce up into Canada. There's all kinds of places for ramen. Here's the 1-0 pitch, and there's a breaking ball that misses down in the dirt. The count is now 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. Some people like their tempura. Some people like all kinds of different stuff, but absolutely fantastic food. So 2 balls and no strikes. Here comes the pitch from Mainello. It's a fastball that backs the hitter Suzuki off the plate, and the count goes to 3-0. So 3 balls and no strikes. We are going to be back on the air in another within 48 hours, as we're going to do a Major League game on Sunday morning, Pacific Coast time, and there's a fastball that misses away, and that is a base on balls here for Suzuki. So a little uncharacteristic from Mainello, who's usually pretty sharp to the lefties, as he throws a 4-pitch walk to Suzuki, and really none of those pitches were very close. It's going to bring up the third baseman, Yoshiaki Watanabe. Watanabe tonight is officially 0 for 2. He walked his last time up. He's also flown out to center and struck out his other trips to the plate. His average has slipped to 263. Yet another left-handed stick, as we said in the order. Basically, if you include the switch hitter, there's only a couple of right-handed hitters in the order tonight for the Golden Eagles. There's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Mainello gets the sign from his catcher, Takuya Kai. He's ready to go back to work. He kicks and fires. It is a breaking ball that is missing low. They go down to the third base umpire, and they said that he did go. A little bit surprised on that one. Watanabe, in my opinion, I don't even think we needed to go over to the third base umpire. I think that pitch itself would have been a strike, but the home plate umpire didn't agree. The third base umpire raised the right hand, and that runs the count now to 0-2 to Watanabe. So Mainello ready to go back to work. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. He kicks and fires. It is a fastball swung on and missed. That last pitch was brought up at 92 miles an hour, and that retires Watanabe for the second out of the inning. That is going to leave it up to the designated hitter, Jose Marmolejos. So for Marmolejos tonight, he is officially 1 for 2. He hit his first NPB home run back in the second inning. He walked and scored a run in the 5th, and he popped out to third in the 6th inning. So he steps up to the plate with a runner on first base, and that would be Daichi Suzuki. So left-hander against the left-hander. Mainello holds at the chest. He kicks and fires. It's a fastball that misses upstairs. And the count is 1-0. So Marmolejos here, getting his first look at Livan Mainello. I really like this Cuban lefty. He's a little bit on the small side, but he would definitely be a guy that could get to the big leagues. We got Big Ray checking in. Who says, what happened to get the runner over? Usually with 1 out, we don't always see that. But certainly in that situation, Watanabe was very much overmatched against the lefty Mainello. You might have to ask that question, how come he didn't get pushed over? And there's a snap throw over to first base, and diving back in time is the base runner Suzuki. And he got back safely. So Marmolejos at the plate here with 1 ball and no strike. The runner at first is Suzuki. There's a breaking ball that is swung on and fouled away. and the count goes to 1-1. One thing we haven't really seen a whole lot of, or I don't see a whole lot of in the NPB, at least in the Pacific League, are hit and runs. We don't get a lot of hit and runs in the Pacific League. Not at least in my opinion. There are stolen bases, and of course there are bunts, but it's the one thing I would say in the NPB, we don't get a ton of our hit and runs. So here's the 1-1 pitch. And time has been asked for, and Moinello goes through the motion, but he doesn't throw the ball. That's sometimes dangerous for pitchers. They always tell young pitchers that even if time is called, throw the pitch. You can sometimes hurt yourself if you don't do that. Moinello should have just let that thing fly. The other side benefit to that is if the time is given, you drill the hitter, he doesn't get the base, but he might get hit by the pitch. Of course, that might be a cause for a little bit of a scrap. There's a changeup swung on and missed. That brings the count to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Moinello gets the sign from his catcher, Kai. He's ready to go back to work. Moinello holds set. And he kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball taken for a called third strike. Marmoleo stood there like the house by the side of the road and watched that go by for out number 3. There were no runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 runner left aboard here in the top of the 8th inning. We are now moving to the bottom of the 8th. It is all knotted up at 4s. Fukuoka and Tohoku knotted at 4. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be back in just a moment.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for checking out the game. And Last Raps Baseball. It's today's Zero Thought Sports Card. If you like pack openings, baseball, all that good stuff, check us out. Drop a comment on our channel this month to win a mystery pack of cards. All you gotta do is say Last Rap sent you to be entered. And we'll drop a video later on this month announcing the winner. Enjoy the game.
Welcome back, everybody. We're going to take a quick look at that out-of-town scoreboard. In the top of the 8th inning, the Yokohama Dana Bay Stars have a 6-0 lead over the Yakult Swallows. In the bottom of the 6th inning, the Hanshin Tigers have a 2-1 lead over the Murray Giants. Murray got a run in the top of the 6th inning, but in the bottom of the 6th, the Tigers are threatening. Got runners on the corners and 1 out. In the top of the 6th inning, the Chinichi Dragons are trailing 3-2 to the Hiroshima Toyo Carp. And that is the scores in the Central League. Over the Pacific League, the Hokkaido Nippon Ham Fighters have a 6-2 lead over the Chiba Lotte Marines. And the Oryx Buffaloes have a 3-0 lead over the Saitama Cebu Lions. The game you're listening to here, it is all knotted up at 4s as we are in the bottom of the 8th inning, and there is a pitching change as the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles are going to the bullpen, and it is going to be Tomohiro Enraku who has joined us into the fray. So Enraku is taking over, and the first pitch he delivers is a fastball to Akira Nakamura taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Enraku ready to go back to work. He delivers again, and it's a fastball that misses outside, and the count goes to 1-1. I always like it when an Enraku comes into the game. He pitches usually very quickly. There is a split finger pitch that is swung on and missed, and the count goes to 1-2. So Enraku is the 4th pitcher used. by the Golden Eagles tonight. There's a fastball swung on. This is lifted into right field. It's going to get down in front of Hiroki Shimochi. That is going to be a base hit here for Nakamura, and that is going to bring up Eurizabal Graciel. Well, let's cue the moment here, because here's our situation. You've got the 4-hole hitter at the plate in Graciel. Is he going to bunt and move this runner into scoring position, or are they going to let him swing away? I think in this case, they let him swing away because it's Eurizabal Graciel. Now, mind you, I hate to say it, he's been stinking it up at the plate. He's 0 for 3 tonight. He entered the game batting 182. Being 0 for 3 tonight has dropped his average to 172 on the season. But I don't think Graciel is in a position. He's in scoring position right at home plate. One would think he is going to get the green light to swing the bat. So the runner at first is Nakamura. There's nobody out here in the bottom half of the 8th inning. But the one thing that would be interesting to see, I don't know if Graciel, a player like Graciel, would be able to shorten up his swing, even to be able to hit behind the runner, thinking 4-hole, to be able to go from first to third. And there's a fastball that misses down, and the count is 1 ball and no strikes. And just as I suspected, we're not going to see Graciel bunting. He is the 4-hole hitter for a reason. So 1 ball and no strikes. He digs in on the right side, waiting on the right-handed pitch from Enraku, and there's a fastball swung on. It's grounded through the 6-hole into left field. And now the Hawks have something brewing, as there are runners on first and second with back-to-back base hits. And that is going to bring up Taisi Makihara. Now, I wouldn't put it past the Hawks to bunt Makihara, even though Makihara has been swinging the bat fairly well this year. He's 1 for 3 tonight. He's singled and scored a run. He's grounded to short, and he has flown out to center field. Who says this guy's my favorite new active broadcaster? That's appreciate that. I don't know if Bob Cole is the one. Get a good kick out of that. Bob Cole, of course, from the Rock in Newfoundland, a very famous Canadian guy who did his Hockey Night in Canada for years. To get a chance, he did something. He talked about how he got his gig. He went into Foster Hewitt's office in Toronto with a tape, and next thing you know, they hired him. It's kind of funny. So Makihara is already scoring the bunt as soon as he steps up into the batter's box. And Enraku does the old spaghetti move over to second base, and back in time is the base runner Nakamura. Although he didn't draw the throw, he did get back. So Makihara 1 for 3 tonight. So Enraku has got himself in a jam here in the 8th inning. The Hawks are flapping their wings. The Eagles are sitting up in the nest. So here comes the pitch. It is bunted. It's down. It's fielded by the Enraku. He throws to third. A great play by the pitcher. Enraku comes off the mound. That's going to be a fielder's choice. It's going to erase Nakamura at third. That's going to go down as a fielder's choice, 1-5 for the first out of the inning. Nice play, a good read play by the third baseman, Watanabe, who held his ground. The throw is in time. They definitely get the runner. They don't have to challenge that one. And that's going to keep the runners at first and second, and now it's going to bring up Seiji Ubiyashi. For Ubiyashi tonight, he is 2 for 3. He's doubled and scored a run. He's singled, and he's also struck out on the evening. Ubiyashi's had himself a decent day at the plate. He's raised his season average up to 348. Mind you, he's got limited at-bats. But in his limited at-bats, he's been very productive. There's a first pitch changeup taken for a called strike. And the count is 0-1. The crowd in Fukuoka is very festive here. I know Big Ray's joined the stream. This is a different ballpark for us. Normally the Hawks are playing at the PayPay Dome. This game is in the Fukuoka Prefecture, and it's an outdoor game. There's a fastball that misses down in the dirt. It's a great block by the catcher, Simatani, and now he throws down to second, and diving back in time is the base runner, Graciel. I don't know why he went down to second base. The runner at third needed to be alert because they can't get you both. If he would have taken off to the dish, we might have had a whole host of crazy plays going on. So if you can imagine this, Big Ray, we're playing on a all-dirt infield, much like the Koshin Stadium in Osaka, where the Hanshin Tigers call their home. There is no upper deck in the stadium. It's like a bowl without any seats in straightaway center field. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into right field. This ball is going to get down. It's off the wall. One run is in. Here comes the throw in. They're firing it to the plate, and are we going to get the second run? No, they're going to hold up at third base. Is the base runner Makihara. It is a single and an double and an RBI for Ubiashi. And the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks have now taken the lead 5-4 here in the bottom of the eighth inning. And they still have something brewing as there are runners on second and third. So a fantastic piece of hitting. This is definitely Seiji Ubiashi's night, as he has doubled, singled twice, and knocked in a run. He's now got 3 hits on the evening. So Ubiashi is aboard at second base. The infield now is going to be coming in for the Eagles. It's going to bring in the right fielder Tetsuro Yanagamachi to the plate, as he is the scheduled hitter. And I'm going to keep my eye on this. If there is a time for a suicide squeeze, to me, this would have been the opportune time. The first pitch is a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Big Ray says, was wondering if the Hawks were favored in this. Well, because it's a home game, I would have said, yeah, they would have had the edge. There's a fastball swung on. It's grounded to second baseman Asamura. He comes home to the plate. Now they've got the runner hung up between third and home, and he has run off the baseline, has Nakamura or Makihara, and so he is going to be registered as a putout. That'll go to the catcher. So it is going to be a putout. It's going to be a fielder's choice, 4-2 for the second out of the inning. Ubiashi advances all the way to third. We have to check to see if Yanagamachi has made it over to second. As we said earlier on, it was one of those situations that the Takuya Kai was able to stay in it, and he has indeed got over to second base. So they still have runners on second and third, but now there is 2 away, and that brings up the shortstop, Kenta Imamiya. So we are in the bottom of the 8th inning here, guys, in case you're wondering. My ticker is not up to date with the top of the bottom half. It is now a 5-4 game for the Hawks. And here comes the pitch from Manraku, and that is a fastball that misses off the outside corner, and the count is 1-0. Imamiya is 0 for 3 tonight. He's grounded out twice and struck out. He is definitely the guy that you want to be able to get this. Our friend Vivid Life is in here. He says he almost threw up. He needs the Eagles to win this. It's going to be a very daunting situation. There's a fastball swung on, and this is drilled foul into the seats down the third base line, and the count goes to 1-1. The sad part about this is that, or not sad part, really, it is, as I said, it's a home game for the Hawks, but it's really not, because they're playing in a stadium that they don't play regular home games in. So I don't know if that necessarily plays to the advantage, because as Big Ray asked, who was favored in this one? If this game was at the PayPay Dome, I would say for sure the Hawks. There's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 1-2. But as soon as you start taking the home team out of their home surroundings, even move them into a neutral site area, it becomes a little bit more of a challenge. And because both of these teams are first and second place in the Pacific League, it's set up for a great matinee affair today in Japan. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. And it is a breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. So for the Fukuoka fans who are out there, they may get what they want, and that is a late inning victory. It is Tomoya Mori who is I always mess up his name. I want to say it's Mori is the last name. Who is heating up in the bullpen. That is Yuto Mori. As a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count remains at 2-2 to Imamiya. But you know that's going to be his time to close it out. He'll probably be the 6th pitcher used tonight by the Hawks. Vivid Life says he never bets on home team advantages, especially if everybody is used to the climate and area. Here comes the pitch. It is a fastball that is swung on and hooked foul over into the Rakuten bullpen, and that is going to keep the count at 2-2. Vivid Life says, I wish I paid more attention to the standings, though. I ride hard for the Eagles. Yeah, the Eagles... the Eagles are, as I said, they're a nice, fundamentally sound team to watch. I like them because of their defense. I like the way that they play the game. And that's the same thing with the Hawks. The Hawks play pretty good defense. There's a fastball swung on it. It's lifted into center field. Backing up is Tatsumi. He makes the catch. And that is going to do it here in the 8th inning. But they have broken the deadlock, has Fukuoka. They scored 1 run in the inning. There were 3 hits. There were no errors, and there were 2 runners left aboard. We are now through 8 complete. It is the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks 5, the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles 4. Stick around, everybody. We'll be right back after this from our friend Matt.
Good evening, sports fans. I hope you all have been enjoying the game. This is just another message from another Hollis build. I hope that your team is in the lead, but if not, remember, that's life. That's what all the people say. You're riding high in April, shot down in May. But you know I'm gonna change that tune. When I'm back on top in June. I said that's life. And as funny as it may seem, some people get their kicks stomping on my team, but I don't let it get me down. 'Cause this fine old world, it keeps spinning around. I hope you enjoy the rest of the game, and if it remains the same, remember, that's life. You want your fill? Go check another Hollis build on YouTube. Last Raps Baseball. Let's get back to the game. Let's go! You know that's life. You know it. One love and peace.
Welcome back, everybody. We have a pitching change. It is going to be Yuto Mori. He is coming into the ball game. And there are some defensive changes for the Hawks, but usually we have to get those a little bit later as Kavesi comes in to play some first base. There are some movement in the corner outfield as well, as we have a couple of other changes defensively for Fukuoka. But our main concern is here as we've got the first hitter is Ryosuke Tatsumi, and he swings at a first pitch fastball. It's popped up into left center field. Moving over underneath it is one of the substitute players who's come in for Yurizabel Graciel, who makes the catch. That is Nao Sato, who has grabbed that, and that is going to retire Tatsumi on the first pitch that he sees. 1 up and 1 away. That there is what I would call inexperienced hitting by the youngsters. Usually on a lot of teams, if you're down by a run or less than 2 runs in the 9th inning, usually teams will want the hitters to take a pitch, at least one pitch before they do. And he did not put a good swing on the pitch. He had a fly ball into center field. A relatively routine fly, shallow fly ball. It's just not a good piece of hitting and a good attack approach at the plate. So there is one away here in the 9th inning, and we do have a pinch hitter for the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles. And the first pitch is a fastball, and this is swung on, and this ball is lifted into left center field, but this one is going to get down for a base hit. And Ginji is aboard here, as we have to get the stuff here. So Ginji gets himself a base hit, and that's going to bring up the top of the order. So the Eagles still have life. And just with that base hit here, he is going to get a pinch runner, and Ginji is out of the ball game. So he comes in and does his job with a base hit. That ball almost split the outfielders. Biashi had to get over to field it in left center field, and he fired it back in, but he's getting the high fives, does Ginji. It looks like it's going to be Murray Biashi coming in to run, but we'll have to confirm that for you. But that brings up the top of the order, Haruki Nishikawa. So Nishikawa steps up to the plate. It is Murray Biashi that is the runner at first base. So Genji's night quickly over as it is start. So here we go, back to the live action. Mori holds at the belt. He kicks and fires. It's a breaking ball. Take it for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Nishikawa tonight is officially 0 for 3. He walked and scored a run in the first inning. He has popped the first, struck out looking, and grounded to first. So no balls and 1 strike. So here comes the 0-1. It's a fastball. This ball is swung on and belted to deep right field, and this ball is gone, a home run. So if our friend Vivid Life is here, he's going to be dancing up and down as the Eagles have taken a 6-5 lead here in the 9th inning. The normally for sure closer, Yuta Mori, has just served up a 2-run shot, and the score is now 6-5 for the Eagles. Unbelievable. What a fantastic seesaw game this has been right now. Absolutely crazy. A 2-run shot by Nishikawa that has left the yard. That's only his 2nd home run of the season. And that has put the Golden Eagles up on top 6-5 here in the top of the 9th inning. That's going to bring up the shortstop, Tsuyoshi Yamazaki. So what an absolutely unbelievable play. Ryan Morris, for sure, been quiet all night. What a miracle that was. Here we go. Here comes the first pitch. It's a fastball delivered upstairs. The count is 1-0 to Yamazaki, and the inning is not over yet as there's only 1 away. So I don't know if I saw that coming at all. Unbelievable. So Vivid Life is asking, has he been punked? Absolutely not. There's a fastball swung on. It's grounded. Nice play by the second baseman who dives to his left. Fantastic play by the second baseman, Makihara, to lay out. Gets up to his feet, and he throws Yamazaki out on a ground out 4-3 for out number 2 here in the 9th inning. And that is going to leave it all up to Hideto Asamura. Well, you got to tip your hat to Genji, who stepped up to the plate and got that going with the base hit to be able to turn the batting order over. And Nishikawa, unbelievable. So what a fantastic game here tonight. We're glad we're here to watch it with you. So here comes the first pitch to Asamura. It's a changeup swung on and missed, and the count is quickly 0-1. I can't believe this ball game the way it has turned out. It has been an absolute seesaw affair. It's a slugfest between the top 2 teams in the Pacific League. Outstanding. And there is a split finger pitch that swung on and missed, and the count goes to 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. So Hideto Asamura is 1 for 4 tonight. He's got himself an RBI as well. But he finds himself staring down the barrel of a gun here in the ninth, and it's 0-2. And there's the pitch. It is a fastball swung on. And this ball is belted by the diving third baseman and the glove of Isami Nomura. And Asamura's got his second hit of the ball game. And he is aboard here with 2 out. And some of these balls that have been hit off of Mori tonight have been absolute missiles. Unbelievable. Absolute missiles. Gladys is back in the house. Big Ray says, got to keep it clean. Yeah. I don't always see it on my stream, but usually we've got the mods that are hunting out some of that stuff. Got to make sure that anybody else, it is an adult channel, but we got to be careful on the replay. So here comes Hiroki Shimochi to the plate. He is officially tonight 2 for 4. He's actually 1 for 3. He's got a walk as well, and he takes a first pitch outside for a ball 1. So 1-0 to Shimochi. The Eagles have really started flapping their wings here in the 9th inning, as they've now taken this 6-5 lead. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. There's a fastball swung on. This is lifted into shallow left center field. Coming hard is the left fielder who makes the catch, and that is going to do it. As we said, we have to always get you the changes, but that left fielder was Neo Sato. And Sato makes the grab, and that is going to do it here for the Eagles in their half of the 9th inning. So for Tohoku, in their half of the 9th, they got 2 runs in the inning on 3 hits. There was no errors and 1 runner left aboard. You know what, everybody? We're coming back for the bottom of the 9th. Scheduled to come to bat is Takuya Kai, and then the top of the order, Memori and Nomura. Don't go away, everybody, because we're coming back for an exciting finish. Hold tight. We're glad you guys could be here with us.
Hey everybody, thanks for checking out the game and Last Raps Baseball. It's today's Zero Thought Sports Cards. If you like pack openings, baseball, all that good stuff, check us out. Drop a comment on our channel this month to win a mystery pack of cards. All you gotta do is say Last Rap sent you to be entered. And we'll drop a video later on this month announcing the winner. Enjoy the game.
Would you like to support Last Raps Baseball? We would appreciate it if you did. Be sure to check out our eBay page where we have baseball merchandise. We also have stuff from the Japanese League for those who listen from Japan. But we also do other sports like football and basketball as well. Don't forget, visit Last Raps Baseball's eBay store to help support the channel. We'll be glad you did. Welcome back, everybody. It is a pitching change. This is going to be number 5 used by Tohoku. This is going to be their closer, Yuki Matsui, coming into the game to try to close this one off. And for those of you who have remember Matsui when he's pitched before, never makes things easy. It's always sometimes a bit of a roller coaster. So hopefully you got your Maalox, your Rolaids, and your Tums handy, because he can really put the Eagles fans to the test. But he is pretty decent when he is on. Vivid Life says he tried to do the Tiger Woods fist and jammed his fist into my work desk. He's in pain, but he's happy in pain. Gladys says that they need a drink. It's been a great game and a crazy game at that. It looks like we are going to get ourselves a pinch hitter here. We have changes all over the place defensively. So we'll have to try to get you somewhere updated on that, and we'll get you the pinch hitter for Fukuoka here in the bottom of the 9th inning as Takuya Kai's day is done. We'll get that for you in a second. As we said, there are changes all over the place. And so here comes the batter now for the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. This is number 5. This is Nobuhiro Matsuda. And he is pinch hitting for Kai in the 9th inning. For Matsuda, he's off to a rough start this season. He's 5 for 28. He's batting $179. He normally is the third baseman, But I have to say he is getting a little long in the tooth. I wonder how much time he has left, certainly in Fukuoka, if not in the NPB period. And there is a breaking ball taken for a strike, and the count goes even to 1-1. So this has been an absolutely seesaw affair. It is a great game to have called tonight. I don't know if this might even been better than the perfect game we called last week when we had Roki Sasaki, and there's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count goes to 1-2 to Masuda. The top of the order, Masaki Momori, and then we'll follow here in the 9th inning. Ryan Morris says we called the perfect game. Yeah, last weekend we called that Roki Sasaki perfect game. I almost tapped out. We had some technical difficulties in about the 3rd inning. Our whole internet went down, and we ended up having to come back, and thank goodness we did. There's a breaking ball swung on and missed, and that is going to retire Kai here. He's gone on strikes, and he is out number 1 here in the 9th inning. So 1 away as Takuya Kai is retired, and that is going to bring up Masaki Momori. So Ryan said, that's the kid who is the phenom. Absolutely he is. He's the one who was bringing the ball up at about 100 plus miles an hour. He sat on 100 for pretty much the whole night. Absolutely crazy. Keep your eye on him. We are here in the bottom of the 9th inning. The ticker is incorrect. It is a 6-5 scoreline for Tohoku. I'll make that change for you so that we can keep that up to date. There's a breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count is 1-0 to Momori. So 1 ball and no strikes. We got 2 outs left in this game for the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. Here comes the pitch from Matsui. It is a breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count now goes even to 1-1. Momori tonight is officially 1 for 3. He singled, he's popped to the catcher and grounded to second. He's also had a sacrifice bunt. But they need him to get going here. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. There's a breaking ball swung on. This ball is belted into deep right center field. Moving back, and it's off the wall. It is fielded by the center fielder, Tatsumi. He fires it in, and standing at second base with a double is Momori. And he is got a 1-out double, and that is going to bring up the third baseman, or scheduled to bring up the third baseman, Isami Nomura. So this game is far from over yet. Gladys says, who's the best closer in Japan? Well, some people would say Momori is. He's been with the national team. He's been there more of an 8th inning guy. Also, Chiba is pretty good. They've got their closer, Masuda. Matsui is okay here for Tohoku. So there's a lot of options around the NPB to finish games off. So this brings up Nomura to the plate. And the first pitch from Masui is a fastball swung on and fouled away. Count is 0-1. So Ryan asks, what's Japan's extra inning rule? Well, the last couple of years, they didn't play any extra innings because of the pandemic. It's the first year that they're going back to the extra innings. On top of that, the furthest this game will go will only be 12 innings. So this game could potentially go 12 and end in a tie. If that happens, then who knows? So here comes the 0-1. They do start with runners on base in the extra inning, though. There's a fastball that misses outside, and the count is now 1-1. Yep, there is a ghost runner that will be on base. Freddie Galvis has now moved into the on-deck circle. It looks like he is going to be coming to bat for Akira Nakamura, so he will get his opportunity here to swing the bat. I'm curious to see what they're going to do with Graciel. Ryan's asking the question, second base, I believe it's first and second in the Japanese league. There is a breaking ball that is swung on and missed, and the count now goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. I'll have to confirm that for you when it happens. I actually like that where they have runners on first and second. Sometimes in tournaments and youth tournaments, they call it California rules. You got runners on first and second. The first hitter comes up. You want to bunt him over to put 2 guys in scoring position, and you got 2 cracks to bring 2 home. So here comes the 1-2 pitch. He kicks and delivers. It is a breaking ball swung on and missed. And Nomura is gone on strikes for the second out of the inning, and that is going to leave it all up to, well, it's supposed to be Akira Nakamura, but it looks like Freddie Galvis is coming off the bench as he's going to get the opportunity to face the lefty Matsui. Should I just call the shot now? Why do I get the feeling Freddie Galvis is going to end this game with 1 swing of the bat? Can you imagine if he walks it off with 2 out here in the bottom of the 9th inning? The switch-hitting Galvis steps in. He's batting from the right side against the left-hander Matsui. He's only hitting 118 on the season. He's 6 for 51. And here comes the first pitch from the lefty Matsui. It is a fastball that is swung on and missed. And the count is 0-1. Peg Ray says, I read his mind. Ryan says he wouldn't be happy. Vivid says, am I knocking on wood? Everybody knocking on wood. Vivid's biting his nails right now. We got no balls and 1 strike. Be quite the finish to the game here. So Matsui can't leave something up over the plate because he could be punished by Galvis. Here comes the 0-1. He kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that misses off the outside corner, and the count goes even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. The Hawks are all up on their bench. They're all leaning in. The closer, Maury, is not happy. You can see he is sitting there. He's pretty silent. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Galvis digs in. He's waiting from the offering from the lefty Matsui. He kicks and delivers. It is a breaking ball swung on. It is lifted into right field. It's deep, but not deep enough. It is going to be caught, and that is going to do it. The Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks fall to the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles 6-5, and that is going to do it. And we appreciate everybody for being here. We're going to come back in just a couple of minutes to wrap this one up. Your final score is the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles 6, the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks 5. Stick around, everybody. We'll be right back to wrap this one up in just a moment. We're glad you guys could stick it out with us tonight. We appreciate you all for being here. Here's our friend Steve again.
Hello, guys. Thank you for joining Freddie here on his baseball game. And I'm Steve Rademacher, and my channel is really all about everybody, including all my international friends. We have such stuff as non-sport packs from Canada, the OP Cheese. We have the Greek Freak. We have money from around the world. We have lira. We have yen. We have francs. We have pounds. We have Deutschmarks. We have all kinds of cool stuff like that. We even have some cooler things like Japanese women wrestlers and OP-Chi baseball cards where I cannot read the back. We even have unopened material like the royal family, I know it's backwards, from London, England. Thank you for watching. Back to Freddie.
Once again, we appreciate everybody for being here, and that is Steve Rademacher, the supporter of our channel, and in return, we like to support him. So we're going to take you to the out-of-town scoreboard from games from around the NPB, and then we're going to wrap it up and call it a night here. So just a couple of others. There is another final in. Yokohama Dana Bay Stars knocked off the Tokyo Yakult Swallows 6-0. It was Kamichatani who got the win. He goes to 2-0. Hara takes the loss. He's 1-2. Neftali Soto hit his second home run, and Miyazaki his third for Yokohama. It is in the top of the 8th inning. The Hanshin Tigers are clinging to a 2-1 lead over the Amuri Giants. In the top of the 7th, the Hiroshima Toyo Carp have a 3-2 lead over the Chinichi Dragons. And over in the Pacific League, the other games, the Hokkaido Nippon Ham Fighters have a 7-3 lead over the Chibalote Marines. The Oryx Buffaloes have a 3-0 lead in the bottom of the 8th over the Saitama Cebu Lions. And once again, your final here is the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles 6, the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks 5. And that was your final. So just a couple of news and notes. This game was an absolute seesaw affair. In the top of the first inning, the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles got their scoring going. It was a walk to Nishikawa. He went all the way around to third on a throwing error on a pickoff attempt by the pitcher, Colin Ray. And he was brought home on a single by Hideo Asamura. In the second inning, Jose Marmoleos hit a solo shot for the Eagles. That put them up 2-0. But Fukuoka responded in their bottom half of the second by scoring 3 runs. A one-out single by Makihara was followed by a double by Ubiashi. And a 2-run single by Yanagamachi made the score 2-2. And he was brought home on a single by Takuya Kai. And it was 3-2 after 2 for Fukuoka. That's how the score remained until the 5th inning, when Jose Marmoleos led off with a walk, and then he was moved over to third by Ryosuke Tatsumi, who doubled. They were brought home on a Tsuyoshi Yamazaki single, and they went up 4-3. Well, Fukuoka ended up coming back with a run in their half of the 5th inning. It was a walk to Kai. He was later erased on a rundown. And then it was Nomura who bounced into that fielder's choice. He later scored on a single by Nakamura, and that evened the score at 4. In the bottom of the 8th inning, it was a leadoff single by Nakamura, then a single by Urizabel Graciel. The second baseman, Makihara, tried to bunt, but he didn't get the job done. He ended up bouncing into a fielder's choice. But then Seiji Ubiashi stepped up and hit a RBI double that knocked in Graciel, and that put the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks up 5-4. And then in the top of the 9th inning, with one away, the pinch hitter Ginji singled, and he was brought home on a 2-run shot by Haruki Nishikawa. And that is how the ball game ended, 6-5 in favor of the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles. All right, everybody. Once again, you've listened to another Last Rounds Baseball video production. We do appreciate everybody who was in the stream tonight. Thanks for checking it out. Remember, we're going to take tomorrow off. We are going to run the stream on Sunday. We're going to call 2 Major League games on Sunday. Make sure you get a chance to be able to pop in and visit us again. Our schedule is up for the week. We will be doing our next NPB game a week from tomorrow. It'll be announced later in the week once we see the pitching matchups. We hope everybody can come on back in and join us again. Once again, everybody, we appreciate you all for being here. We hope you all have a great night. We'll see you again later in the week. Once again, everybody, Pooh Stitch, Vivid Life, Ryan Morris, Big Ray, Gladys, everybody else who checked in tonight, we appreciate you guys being here. We'll see you again later.